And we are live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Saber Dice, a special 2-week event that we got going on. We are excited to have you. We got a new home, if you will, over here. We're trying some things out. See if you guys like the new time. If you guys like being over here on YouTube, we heard some of the there's some easier things for streaming as far as bit rates go. So hopefully, some of you guys who are having drops on the live shows, hopefully this will clean some of that up. And as you can see, we have a special guest back with us. So we have Andrew Armstrong with DawnforgedCast returning to his amazing character, Jardon. Of course, we are back with Pruitt playing Robin. We have Dave back with Joego. I myself am back with Oliver Ridley. And back behind the screen is our magnificent bastard, Jim Davis. Here with a few words for our sponsors, Dave Friant with Nerdarchy.
Hey guys, of course this wouldn't be possible without Fantasy Grounds, which you guys see us using every time. And you're also very shortly going to see one of those amazing Dungeon Painter Studios maps by Jim Davis. We want to thank our sponsors for being awesome. So go check them out. Support the channel by supporting our sponsors.
Thank you very much, Cody. All right, it's all me. All right. Excuse me for a moment. While Will deserves a much well-earned night off, we are going to be returning to the great city of Orichala Palatine, to the Street of Spells, where our heroes have taken a 2-year break from their day-to-day lives. They've gone off on their own separate journeys. They've had their own struggles, their own triumphs. They've changed in ways that perhaps will surprise us, and yet are the same familiar characters that we all know and love from so long ago. Let's have everybody reintroduce themselves real quick, and then after that, I will set the scene for where tonight's adventure will take place. Cody, why don't you start us out?
Sure thing. I am back with Oliver Ridley, who is a human Valor Bard, and now we are level 10, Jim Davis, so that's really exciting. Oliver took the kind of lessons learned with Pag pretty hard, and some of his, if you guys remember, some of the last things that he talked about with Uther was trying to get better management in place, better leadership in place, and Uther kind of thought he was going to pitch himself, but he did not. He actually thought that Jardon should have been in charge of the Street of Spells, and so Oliver went off and he traveled around a little bit, and he worked at becoming better, if that makes any sense. He didn't want what happened at the Street of Spells and all of the death, and he didn't want to be unprepared for something like that in the future. So he kind of went off to train, to learn new things, to learn how to handle himself better and be just a better combatant when and if the time calls for it. So he is eager to return back to Orichala Palatine and the Street of Spells, because he has not been here in almost 2 full years, and he's excited, of course, to see his good friends Robin, Joego, and Jardon, and to see if Jardon did in fact take a leadership role. So he is excited to be back.
Jardon, perhaps you'd like to give us a hint about what's been going on.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'll be playing Jardon tonight. He's still lizard folk, but he was a druid. Now, he's something different now, and I'll say that at the end. He initially undertook the mantle of leadership of the neighborhood well enough. However, his encounter with the Seeker, with the unusual otherworldly creature, and his connection with it, and the vision that he saw of the forecoming doom of this invasion of these mind flayer style creatures, began to affect him. He had a hard time shaking it, and gradually it became more and more present, such that he all but abandoned his post and poured himself into study and research. He spent a lot of time in Zelikai's his library, and also in the creature's lair that they had discovered. And the dark whispers that he heard more and more began to influence him, and he was all but not seen for a very long time. And he came to the realization, he looked into arcane magic, he looked into divine magic, and none of it seemed like it would do anything against this, or at least he couldn't utilize it well enough. So he turned to another source of power in order to, because he was always about the preservation of life, and he's got the dual role of, he's the leader of the community, and he seeks to really cultivate this, to defend what they worked so hard to save. So he turned to the creature's own powers, psionic powers, and began his growth and his change, as his paranoia grew ever more dramatically. He became a little bit unstable, but as his mind began to adapt and take on the powers of these creatures, he began to master them, and now he is a 10th level mystic. No more druid abilities. He's all but pushed that out of his mind.
Are you even proficient in nature anymore?
No, he's forgotten that.
Oh man. All right.
And like, it's not just that he forgot it, it's that there's no room in his head anymore for anything other than they're coming. He's gotten rid of a lot of his magic items and exchanged them for things that help him. He's constantly alert. He took the alert feat. He's seeing, jumping at shadows, and he is very much a changed lizard folk by the time the rest of the party reach.
Leaping lizards.
Excellent. Robin, what have you been up to these 2 years?
He learned certain lessons after the fight with Pag, which is, he has something to offer other than just keeping the peace with mundane elements that would threaten the community. So he started making his services known for bigger threats, like kind of becoming a bit of a monster hunter. Also, he still retained the vigilante aspect, but he is secure in his defenses against the mental intrusions of those that would try, and maybe kept in touch a little bit with Jardon, just kind of like keeping tabs on that whole aspect of the coming invasion or whatever. But yeah, he stayed around town. He didn't really need to do Vandermouse as much, because right after Pag, he totally went and like robbed the wizards that left. And just like he's been just slowly fencing that over the years, and just keeping Briarpatch House going. He makes an appearance every now and again, but he doesn't do. He's kind of played Vandermouse as kind of getting a little older, and he's not out playing people as much in and amongst the community, because he hasn't really had to. But that's been pretty much. But he's been keeping a pretty low profile though, just as Robin.
Excellent news. And then finally, Joego's been up to some interesting endeavors, hasn't he?
Joego has decided that he's taken it upon himself to keep the streets clean and safe for everyone. So Joego has started his own citizen patrol, his own watch, with his lieutenants, Ricky Ratcatcher, Little Sebastian, who isn't so little anymore, and Naomi the Magpie are his lieutenants. And Joego just goes around, breaking up fights, keeping the gang activity down, keeping people safe. And apparently he's the only one who's like, that Pag thing happened, we move on. He gets sad a little from time to time, when he thinks of the people that were injured and scarred and died. But all in all, he's pretty resilient. He's very much like a child.
Excellent. Yeah, and the life moves at a fast pace on the Street of Spells, and within a season or two, the whole affair is forgotten. New mages move into manses. New powers that be fill in the vacuum that was left behind by all the luminaries that were slain. Um, and life sort of goes on the Street of Spells. But tonight, our camera will pan northwards, flying over the burned out district just north of the Street of Spells, and settling on a quiet, mostly abandoned suburb along the northern wall of the city. Here, ages and ages ago, a army of reptiles and snake men breached through the wall, and a great battle was held. And ever since, this part of the city has been sparsely populated, home for vagrants, squatters, and those amongst the magocracy who perhaps hold unorthodox or radical views. And amongst this collection of overgrown gardens and stray cats and dogs roaming the streets, our heroes find themselves at a bathhouse known as the Grotto, a refuge, a place for the avant-garde, the plain-touched, those who don't quite fit in to the normal social structure of the city, have a quiet and unusual place to rest and seek sanctuary. The Grotto is run by two Marids who go by the name Storm Upon the Seas and Magnificence Unanswered. And the two of them have used their generous talents and have chosen the Grotto as their home in exile to make it a lovely place for the well-to-do of the great city to relax. So I'm going to ask our heroes to roll a d4, and that will determine what order they arrive at the Grotto. We got Jardon at 4. There's a 1. Oh, nice. So no one shows up at the same time and has like a serious faux pas or anything.
That was kind of awesome.
Yes, so here we are. Your characters are arriving there because you are reuniting after these 2 years. You've kept up in some form or fashion, whether it's animal messengers delivering letters to each other, or sending spells, or whatever it is, however it is that you communicate with each other, and have decided that this it's not exactly the 2-year anniversary, sort of around the 2-year anniversary, that you will catch up with each other. So Oliver, I believe, is first to arrive at the Grotto.
Yeah, so when Oliver comes in, he is going to make himself comfortable. He is excited to be back. He's kind of feeling the energy of the city. He's had a long travel back from Sertoria, and you know he's just excited to be here. He can't wait to see what Robin has been up to. He's really excited to talk to Jardon and Joego and just kind of catch up. So he's going to come in and he's going to kind of make himself comfortable. Also, because of all the training that he's been doing, he is much more confident than he had been in the past, in his kind of trying to beat back his paranoia a little bit after facing down a dangerous demon literally in the streets of the city. So he's excited. He'll come in and he'll kind of unwind a little bit. He's carrying some new equipment for sure.
Excellent.
And he'll kind of set that off.
So what we have is the entrance to the Grotto is sort of a semicircular room. Looks like half of it is divided by this opaque wall of force, but there's only like a short kind of gap in it that leads further into the Grotto itself. And out here, you can see one of the two Marids is sort of greeting everyone. There are invisible servants gathering up people's items and equipment. There are only 4 rules for the Grotto, and that is there are no weapons allowed in the Grotto. There are no spell foci allowed in the Grotto, and there are no familiars in the common pool. You'll have to rent a private pool if you want to bring your familiar in there. And it is only towels beyond the wall of force. 4 rules.
Oh, no worry. Badger, not familiar. But Joego used to think Badger familiar, but Jardon, he taught Joego not familiar.
Right. So you can hear Joego. Oliver can hear Joego behind him as you're still in the entrance area. There's another mage of some kind passing through the gap between the two walls of force. He's got a weird sort of. It looks like a giant earthworm maybe around his neck, or like maybe an albino snake around his neck. Looks like perhaps a familiar.
Joego, my friend, how are you? And I'm going to come right up to him. I'm already stripping down to towel only at this point.
Okay.
Joego rushes forward in his excitement. Oliver! And scoops him up into a giant hug.
It's so good to see you, my friend. How have you been?
I was hoping to catch him naked. Make him more
Tavern brawler. All right, here we go.
Joego, good. Joego, good. You should see the kids. They get so big. They're not even kids no more.
Well, I'm back in town. Hopefully, I'll have a chance to stop by.
Little Sebastian, he's not little anymore.
Oh, well, then perhaps it is time for a name change.
I don't know. Joego's still like calling him Lil. He's still little Joego.
I see we're going potless now.
I pull it out from behind me. It's attached to my belt. No, Joego have it, but Joego says that Joego knows there's rules in the bathhouse in the grotto, so there should not be any trouble in here. And I don't think they let ghosts in.
I don't believe so. So why don't we go get comfortable while we wait for the others?
So Joego will begin stripping on his way to wherever we're going.
All right, sure. Yeah, there's invisible servants that take away your gear, and it's secured in a common locker that you have access to whenever you want. We're gonna see. Let's let everybody arrive, and then I'll give you an idea of what the grotto looks like. Otherwise, Robin is next, and Robin, as you enter, you're pretty sure you can see like Oliver and Joego pass into the room with the pools and everything.
Okay. Well, seeing as how Robin has already snuck into here and hidden his daggers away. No, I'm just kidding.
Tape them under the toilet.
Yeah. Tape them under the toilet. He doesn't like this place. But what he will do is he will sneak in and go to where they are going. Because somehow he already knows that.
So you're going to try to sneak past the...
No, I'm going to hand off all my stuff, but
okay.
As far as sneak past Joego and Oliver so that when they get to the little corner they're going, I'm already sitting there like...
Gotcha. All right, well, let's have some stealth rolls.
Well, good, since I'm going to be moving at half my speed, get advantage on that. So that's going to be a 31 to my stealth.
Joego or Oliver detected that.
No.
All right.
Some steam wafts by, and then all of a sudden it's just, well, met friends, it has been a long time.
Well,
Robin,
Joego,
you look so good. And now we scoop him up in a hug.
Oh. Yes.
His feet are like shaking back and forth.
I kind of come up to grasp his arm. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. I've been on many adventures since we last parted. Joego, I've been keeping tabs on you. You've been keeping the streets safe.
Joego tries his best, and he has a lot of help. The kids are really good.
Yes.
They're not really kids no more.
No, they do grow up, don't they?
They're getting so big.
Yes. And Oliver, I've not seen you around.
I have been around, if you will, but not. Unfortunately, my travels did not bring me back this way. I am eager to catch up a bit with you, but I haven't been able to keep tabs really on Jardon. Have you? How is he doing?
No, we've kept in loose contact. We hunted a displacer beast together not too long ago, but well, you just have to wait and see.
Jardon different now.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's about this time that you can see your familiar lizard folk friend descend the staircase into the grotto's foyer.
He looks very nervous. He's looking all around him, and his eyes have this very faint purplish glow to them, and he looks very uncomfortable.
Joego will rush over to give him a hug as well.
Okay.
Hello.
Jardon, I miss you so much. You hardly come out anymore.
Yes, for a good reason. Good to see you.
It's okay. It's okay. I have the kids. They're watching. The watch.
Yes, they are watching. Always watching. Always watching.
Yes, they do a good job.
Jardon, it is great to see you, my friend. Tell me, how have you been?
Busy. Very busy.
Yes, I imagine when I last spoke with Uther, I had tried to put in a good word for you. Here is Uther. I perhaps I should have kept better tabs here. I apologize, Jardon, but it's good to see you.
Yes, you too. Whatever.
Are you okay, old friend?
Yeah,
You look like you just stole the king's ransom.
No, did not steal anything much. Did not steal much. Why are we here? You do not know this place.
At this point, Magnificence unanswered. The Merid, who's sort of greeting everyone just on the other side of the wall of force, comes through the gap. Please, my friends, you must come in. It is quite cold out there. The temperature inside is warm. Or if you like the cold, we can also make it cold. If you wish to have a private bath so that you can converse without anyone eavesdropping, that can be arranged as well. But please do come in. It is it breaks my heart to see you out here in the doorstep of my opulent and beautiful establishment and not enjoying the delights that can be found inside.
Yes, that sounds very good. We'll come in where all the people are. Joego love people.
I kind of look back over at Robin. Who is paying for all this?
Oh, it's been covered. Don't worry. The Vandermouse Foundation is covering all expenses.
We'll take one of those private baths, please.
Yeah, that should be fine, right, Jardon? So we can talk privately.
Yes, let me look over the room first, please.
Everywhere Joego go, businesses give Joego and kids money.
Yes, we are pleased. We love Joego and his young investigators and inquisitives and detectives. They're very good at finding lost things and keeping the streets very safe. We are happy to open our doors to you this evening.
Yes, no one expects the Joego Inquisition.
And he does invite you inside. Let's see if what we've got. Jardon can make me an Arcana check.
Absolutely.
So you have something like that.
I'd also like to utilize my aura sight.
Okay.
And 5 side points to perceive the unseen. I'm sure there's nothing there, but
perceive the unseen.
Super paranoid. Arcana.
Okay. Nice.
Boom. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, you just do a quick read and are able to look around. This place is warded against scrying and other forms of divination magic, mostly by virtue of the fact of the stone that it sits underneath. But you can perceive faint traces of warding magic in the masonry. The wall ahead of you is seems to appear to be a permanent wall of force effect, with the gap covered by an anti-magic field that would prevent anything from getting in or out. You also see several invisible familiars flying around inside or perched along the wall, but other than that, nothing else that's unseen.
For the moment, it will suffice. They are not here. Not yet.
Yes. And I kind of am paying attention to Jardon to see what he's doing, and I'll kind of cut Robin a glance, like, you're gonna have to fill me in, dude. What's going on? And we'll try to get Jardon further in. Just kind of like, just going with the flow, if you will, following the guy.
Okay. Following Magnificence Unanswered into the grotto itself, this whole thing has a very sort of coral cave kind of vibe going on. The lights in here oscillate between deep purples to pale greens and blues, and then back, that effect of like sort of water and light reflected. There's this sort of that effect everywhere. Plants and coral formations are there. The pools are flush with the floor, and so it is very slippery, very wet in here. Most people are sort of gently strolling about in their towels or lounging in one of the two larger pools which dominate the center of the room. Magnificence standing off to your side. The pool in front of us is for a refreshing, warm dip, if you wish. It relaxes the muscles and will ease your aches and pains. And then the further pool is quite chilly and brisk, not for the faint of heart, but perhaps the adventurous like the temperature. And then he gestures towards the three circular pools, which are each the private pools. In the first one, you can see three tritons in like an icy, there's like little miniature icebergs floating in the water there, talking to each other. The middle pool is empty, and in the third one is a lone goblin woman, just like relaxed, like just completely spaced out. And then in the larger pool, the heated pool, there are mostly humans swimming, talking with each other. In the pool beyond is a large frog creature and a fish man, and what appears to be a woman with blue-tinted skin. Mephits are everywhere as well.
I believe, my good man, that we have not seen each other in a long time, and we would like to catch up a bit more secluded. So we'll take one of the private pools, if you please.
But of course, this way. And Magnificence leads you towards the middle pool and says, the glyph on the wall, you must only wish it to be hotter or colder. Perhaps you like the bath thick and viscous, or you like it frothy and foamy. Any number of things about the water can be changed with but a whim and a thought. And if you wish, you can rotate your fingers across the glyph, and a magnificent dome of pure privacy will descend upon you. And with that, a bow, he takes his leave.
It'll probably take about 5 to 10 minutes before the rest of the group start yelling at Joego to stop playing with the ball.
Yeah. It's just an inscribed silver glyph on the floor.
It'll go from frothy to viscous. The temperature will change. The dome will come up and go down.
He's like the kid at the bowling alley who puts the bumpers up, back down, up and down, up, down.
Up and down, up and down. So I'll move you guys over to...
Yeah, y'all turn around from thanking Magnificence Unanswered, and I'm already in the pool over there.
Just like slipped right in.
I want to kind of get closer to Robin, thinking that, Joego might be a little like kind of caught up in the stuff that he's been doing. And Jardon has obviously had a significant change. So, I just want to kind of sit next to Robin, so I might be able to try to get glean any additional information from what has gone on in the city since I've been gone.
Joego enters the pool slip and slide style for sure.
Whoa! With a colossus roar.
What? Joego miss all of you so much, friends.
It is indeed good to see that the years have not changed you, Joego.
Oh, that's not true. Joego is getting really good at cooking.
Well, what do you mean, Joego? You were always good at cooking, right? Robin looks at the others and like, right?
the best squirrel tail stew I've ever had.
Now when Joego cook, no one can even tell there are squirrels and pigeons in there.
Oh, your pigeon pie. Let me tell you. It's the bee's knees.
And we've done really good with getting rid of gutter fairies.
Oh, really? What method finally worked on the little bastards?
Mostly we just hit them with brooms.
You know, I honestly can say that I never tried that. So, well done. You're obviously a genius, a very stable genius.
So, Jardon, please tell me, over the last few years, what have you done to keep yourself busy, occupied? Yes, what have you done to keep yourself occupied?
Watching the visual. It's the only way. It's the only way. Studying. Cook. No cooking. No time. You are good. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Who's watching?
Yeah, Jardon, you seem very troubled, and I'll just reach over and hit the little button so the dome descends, and slap Jogo's hand away when he tries to turn it back off. Jardon, tell us.
You cannot words. Let me show you. And he's going to reach out to Robin's head and put his hands on it and use his mind meld talent to impart a vision of Cthulhuian doom into his mind for a second, experiencing what Jardon has grown to know. And tentacle mind vigorously mess with not trying to hurt him or anything, but you'll see the first one. There are many more, and they are coming. We do not know the time or the place, but it could be now. It could be here. I cannot stop hearing them. They're near, always near. I'm sorry.
Well.
Did he give it to everybody, by the way, or just to Robin?
If you want it, he'll give it to. Yeah, if you look interested, he'll.
Yeah. I mean, we're in a bathhouse. He'll give it to you. Don't worry about it.
He shares it with you all.
Boom.
I mean, he already gave it to me, so we give it to Oliver. And Joego will take it.
I want Jardon, I wanted to know if he was inside of me or not. Really?
Well, the next one, he does have one.
Eager to find out.
Joego, you were right about the pots. You were right. Never let it go.
I know it. Joego never loses his brain. Keep pot all the time, and he reach over and pats where the pots is sitting next to him.
Always.
Wait, they let you bring a pot in here? They told me I couldn't bring anything.
No, they make you take off your rings, your amulets, you got to go in. They were serious when they said towels only.
Oh, well, Joego had it. It's over there now. The invisible guy take it. They not ghost him. First time Joego came here, so scared. It was like ghosts everywhere. Ghosts. But magnificent unanswered. He stayed with Joego and showed him not really ghosts, just magic. And it was okay. I remember Robin, remember what happened, Robin? Ghosts went right in you and you became evil Robin.
And yes, and I tried to fly the coop. Yes, I did. I remember that. But you stopped me.
Lovely woman.
Yeah. If you remember that, I remember.
Joego almost run out of here first time.
I don't doubt that. So
are good. Yes, what you doing last?
I'm just kind of at a loss. I'm just waiting for Robin to kind of take the lead on the line of questioning that I'm sure we both have after the visions.
So where'd you go? Where did you learn this? What have you learned? I mean, if this is what you showed us is actually coming, like, I mean, tag us nothing.
How real is this threat?
Like,
Jardon stares into Oliver's eyes with a deep-seated fear and conviction. Very, very real. I read much in the other guy's. That's his library. Not enough. Did not know. So I went down deep in the sewers to its lair. And I opened it up again. And there.
Wait, you've actually seen this thing?
Not one. Many. Hundreds, thousands, always coming.
It's about this time that you hear a bunch of splashing and roughhousing coming from where the Tritons are, and like those of you, I think Joego and Jardon get splashed by a bunch of ice cold water.
Oh no, you didn't. Joego's gonna totally total the tidal wave. Cool at them.
All right, make me a strength check.
All right. Now I just have to find the window that has my character in it. All right, so we're gonna have to minus a few from this. But versus
11. Yeah, I mean, you get a big wall, a big arm full of water and try to sling it that way, and it more just sort of like sloshes around you and kind of up over the tiles. And with your privacy dome down, it just all they really see is like your head sticking out of like half of the illusory dome that gives you your privacy.
Yeah, I imagine the water probably goes like straight up and mostly lands on us.
Splashing it up. But they don't appear to be like trying to provoke you. Joego can see they're preoccupied with they've got drinks and they're just
Robin will turn down the privacy dome for a minute and just look up and be like, "Watch the horse play," and then turn the dome back.
They're over there dunking each other. Yeah. So yeah, Jardon's been through some real shit.
So thankfully we're only seeing your remembrance of it, so our minds aren't so affected. But but it's no less troubling. What I mean, where do we start? I mean, is there anything we can do? Obviously, you've been preparing. You've made a lot of changes. Love the eyes, by the way.
Is it a portal? Is there? You said you opened up its layer, Jardon? Is there a way to close the layer?
They'd close the layer after the end of our dealings, but now I had to open it again. They do not come from the layer. No, it was only one. No, they can come from anywhere. They're not from here, They come from other times, other places. They take it. They burrow into your mind and consume you. We can. There's little hope, but I will try. Just vigilance. Always. You must always watch. Always. Keep inside and out of sight.
Jardon, are you sure? We watch all the time. We don't see these things.
You would not. Not without special eyes. And they flare up in this violent violet energy.
Do I recognize like that type of energy, like from the?
I mean, y'all's experience with psionics and psionic abilities is pretty much limited to just your encounter with the Seeker.
Right, but do I recognize that same energy about it?
It has the same sort of like headache inducing nausea that kind of came with the Seeker.
Yeah, Robin will slightly recoil from Jardon and just be like, my God, man, what have you done? You dare to touch that? To expose your mind to that madness? No wonder. How do you expect to protect them if you've rattled yourself into paranoia, man? Come on.
Nuts. Paranoia is so real. I feel it all the time. I hear them whispering. Always whispering. I tried. Other things I tried.
But give me a perception check as well.
It could not help. It could not help. And the gods, they do not help. They do not know. Only power to stop them is their own. The only way.
Oh my God, man. So you went the fight fire with fire route. Okay, well.
It's okay, Robin. Remember Oliver? He sounds a lot like Oliver, only more whispery.
I know. Like,
Oliver's okay.
Yeah, Oliver, what'd you do to Jardon? Did you give him your paranoia? What's going on, man?
It is a demon that you must overcome yourself. I faced death.
Tag is back.
2 years with you. 2 years ago, that was me facing my death, and it took a long time. I traveled. I learned things. I picked things up. I spent time with the elves and the Alya Woods. It was not easily defeated. And now I am afraid that Jardon has walked a path that might take some time. I think we should believe him. And if this is the case, then Jardon, we've got to do something. If the vision you gave me is real, there can be no doubt that our reunion here is very fortuitous.
Did you say you were with the elves?
I spent a few months with the elves, yes.
The little Sebastian told me the elves make the best squirrel. They wrap it in these mint leaves before they put it on the fire, and it's amazing.
Lots of greens. Let's leave it like that.
Can I get perception checks from everyone else but Robin? And Robin, you notice that as people are mingling about, one of the there's a human woman in the pool, sort of right next to you on the opposite side of where the Tritons are, that whenever you poke your head out or sort of see through the illusion of the privacy screen, because you can kind of see shapes beyond, they can't see anything in, you can kind of see a little bit about what's going on outside. You notice that she's awfully keen on whatever is going on in there. Let's see, Oliver and those are some nice rolls there, guys. Oliver just kind of notices the same thing. That one guy with the weird earthworm, like that's the size of an anaconda thing or a ball python or something, is mingling about. Looks like there's a big cluster over here talking with this blue-skinned lady and the frog thing. Jardon notices that a group of about 6 or so people have just entered in through the portal. Like 6 more people have entered in through, and one of them, like, even though you've got the privacy screen up, one of them seems to like look at you right in your eyes, like make eye contact with you. Joego, you notice that your pot's in the same area that it always was. But yeah, the place seems to be getting a little bit busier. The group that enters in, that Joego notices, they make a beeline across the floor and head down these 2 staircases that are further towards the north on the other side of the room, and they descend those 2 staircases. What's everybody gonna do? Some heavy news.
I mean, we gotta figure out what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Joego did not like that seeker guy. That was bad.
Yeah, I certainly don't. I certainly feel a little exposed right now, both literally and figuratively.
Yes. I should go deep. Hide deep. Gain power. The only way to save us. Only way to save our street. Home. Our home. We can.
Okay, but Jardon, did you find, like, is there anybody here helping these things? I mean, are they have like associates that we could? I mean, I'm just a kid from the street, so my first thing is start beating the streets and finding out who to talk to and work your way up the ladder till you find the big guy and then you take him out. That's what we did with Pag. It's the way it always works.
Yeah,
so let's ground this a little bit so we can get a grasp on it.
I want to kind of ask Robin if who's in charge. If it wasn't Jardon, like, did Uther stick around?
No, new people have moved in. Xenophon is sort of the de facto, and really has the only connection to the old luminaries. But there are other people on the Street of Spells, and in a lot of ways, the Street of Spells has found new ways to get along without the luminaries' leadership. Because even Xenophon's a bit reclusive. Doesn't
with Joego's citizens on patrol and me taking care of the crazy monsters.
Yeah, Joego's really popular. His group is quite popular with the small vendors and the lunch pail mage rights of the Street of Spells.
Yavo helps sometimes too,
Yeah, right. Yavo does.
Eyes everywhere. They could be anyone. They take over the minds. Where to start is not. Where to fight back is just. I don't know.
Jardon, have they taken over my mind? Are they in there? Can you get them out?
He grabs your head. His eyes flare a bit. No, nothing in there.
Oh, good. Joego was so happy. He was afraid there would be something in there.
Yes.
You said you were researching inside the mats when you discovered this layer. Yes?
No. I discovered more about the creatures in the plains, and the lair we discovered. I had its vision. When it came into my mind, I knew where it was. I went with Xenophon, and we sealed it up, but could not stay away. Could not leave alone. Could not let them win.
Well, what do you suggest as a course of action?
Well, we could always throw a party. That worked last time.
Pots for everyone.
I mean, I'm starting to come around on the whole pot idea. I think we should all be on the pot.
We could get into some manufacturing and distribution.
Yes.
I'm sorry, friends. This was to be a nice reunion, but I cannot. Please, I will be quiet. You have got time.
This is a heavy burden, Jardon, and now we are all back to help you bear it, my friend.
Yes. It is quite fortuitous.
Shall we to the manse? Or back to the sewers?
Well, I definitely think that maybe we should head back to the manse, maybe regroup, see if we can put our feelers out, old contacts, get some information, maybe stumble upon something. I mean, if we don't have any more actionable information, I don't know how we can proceed. Short of waiting for something or someone to just drop in our lap or attack us in the dark. I mean, I'm not for that.
Yes, no. Vigilance. Yes. They will come. I have not been able to find the way yet to go to them. But I am looking. I was looking.
Jardon, what do you have that could help us? Specifically, us. And I kind of pointed at Robin and Joego and I. See what you see. Be prepared.
I have learned their ways. They are powerful. Very much. They've taken their precognition, their powers. They wrestle around in my head. But they bend to my will as in sometimes in need. I wish I could say more. I wish I had a way to go. But no ways. No path's clear. Jardon must find her, but cannot find a way. I do not know.
Joego reaches up underneath of his beard and he pulls out a little doll that you guys have seen before. Joego have bad dreams and he keep this so he can sleep at night, Jardon. Maybe you need something to make your bad dreams go away. But not this. You can have this.
Joego, not dreams. They are real. Very real. See?
What's everybody else doing while while Jardon's just like paranoia is taking over him?
Well, I will have immediately started looking around because now that we're sitting here in a bathhouse and you just told us that there's like mind flayer beings coming for us, this would be a great time to attack us. And I'm immediately like head on a swivel, just kind of looking around.
Okay. Have Robin give me another perception check. But everybody else, I mean, there's a lot of people here now. They're milling about. There's steam. The lights are already really low. There you go. That's all you need. Robin is turning around, and you see the 6 people who came in and went downstairs have come back up. And Robin notices that the lead one, he recognizes, she's a tiefling, Sash, the actress who was in the employ of Pag, who escaped the final reckoning at the theater. And you can see her. She's changed her hair, done herself up a little bit different. And you can see some of the others. They're in towels, just like looking around. You can see them scan the room, and you see them spot the privacy dome over your pool.
Yeah, upon seeing her immediately, if I remember correctly, that was Oliver that had quite the rivalry with her. And I'll be like, hey, Oliver, your girl's over there.
This just keeps getting better and better, doesn't it? If only we weren't naked.
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of point over to Jardon and lean into to Robin's ear. I don't know how much of this I believe, but even if it is true, we've got to find a way to get him to calm down. Or he won't be not only no good to us, but he might be dangerous to us in the moment as well.
I think that if we get into some action and he can realize that he still has power over his destiny, over those that would harm us and harm him, I think that he can come back to us a little bit. He has gazed upon something that is beyond mortal mind.
If
If
it is true, I mean, I don't know what goes on down in the sewers. But I will trust your judgment, as I am wont to do, Robin.
yes.
I'm gonna stand up and kind of like try to get seen by her.
Okay.
I'm gonna specifically kind of just stretch out, make eye contact with her, let her know that I know that she's there.
If you stand up, I mean, like your head kind of pokes up out, and they were already sort of moving towards you. There are some on the far side that look like they were, going to make a sweep at the far side of the pool, but she sees Oliver, and her eyes kind of narrow, and you can see her say, "Come out of there, Oliver. We have unfinished business. The blood of my friends is on your hands."
I'm going to lean back in. It is exactly as bad as we thought it was.
Yeah, I figured. And are these people in towels also, or they like have
They
equipment?
are in towels. Yeah.
I just reach over and I reach over and just turn the privacy dome off, and I don't stand up though. Something like that.
You see them approaching you. They don't seem like they are at all bothered by the fact that they're just in towels. And I've gone and made a mess of the initiative tracker on Fantasy Grounds, and it is full of non-combatants that I don't want to have to worry about. So let's go ahead and do this nice and loose. As everybody roll me initiative real quick, and we will see what order everybody.
So I'm gonna use one of my.
God damn!
Hold on.
No, I just rolling like a motherfucker tonight.
There's the two.
You guys add 10 to all of that, as I'm going to use my victory before battle precognition to give you all plus 10.
Fight before.
Oh my god, I got a great fucking idea.
I got a 33 in that case.
I got a great fucking idea.
Let me roll 2. Sorry.
I got a great fucking idea.
Okay.
Jim Davis, thank you for letting us be level 10.
Yeah, man. It's a fun level.
Oh, yes, it is fun.
Okay, so we've got. Here we go.
I'm also sorry for killing you on the charity stream the other night, buddy. Just want you to know.
Yeah, you say that right at the beginning of combat.
But I love you. I love you when we're not taking any donations. The maxed out spells.
No maxed out spells, no auto fails. We've got Robin at 33, do we not?
Yes.
Anybody else beat a 33? Who's got between 33 and a 20, let's say? Most of you guys, I bet.
I think
You're all guys are there. Who's next? Jardon?
29.
29.
All right.
I'm bringing up the rear at 16.
Okay, it's
16.
Whoa. There you go. All right.
But don't worry, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it to go last.
Yeah, you're not going to go last. You guys get the drop on him, and like Jardon shares a moment. You can see this one going this way. You can see Sash coming for you with her fists, ready for the punching. And you can see it all as it happens and anticipate it before they've actually acted. So Robin's first.
Can I say one thing, like as we're getting ready, and I'm like, oh, it's bad. I just try to look down. Throw your towels on the ground, and that's all I'm going to say.
All right.
Everyone doesn't have a towel.
Yeah, let me get your portraits on here real quick.
I think when Joego stands up, you should get to roll an intimidation check.
You need to roll a d12 first.
Here we go. I've got you guys on the combat track.
Joego stands up naked. Roll that initiative.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. So my guys, let me get you guys in the correct initiative order real quick. Robin, what are you up to?
I am going to. A whip isn't a simple weapon, is it? Damn it.
What's that?
I was going to use my towel as a whip, but I can't. I'm not proficient with a whip technically.
Have you never whipped anyone with a towel? Has Robin never whipped anyone
Well,
with a towel before?
back in his young Briar Patch House days, there was many a shenanigan that went on in the shower room, but we don't talk about that.
I see.
So Briar Patch stays in Briar Patch.
Just going first doesn't mean I get advantage.
Not necessarily, no.
So I'm going to yell out to the
proprietors here.
Okay.
You allow this in your establishment now?
I mean, they look at him. They just no fight has happened yet.
Yeah.
You just see these people coming for you, and they clearly have ill intent.
Yeah.
Robin would know by custom that there is a degree of fisticuffs that are sometimes permitted. Like there's a sort of we're not going to intervene unless it gets nasty sort of thing.
Right.
Rough and tumbleness to this place.
Okay. Well, in that case, he will move up Mia to is A Ash or Sash?
Yes, correct.
He's going to go up to Sash, and I'm going to try to grapple her and push her to the ground.
Okay.
So just come up and, like, as I come out of the water, pull her foot out from underneath her. So yeah, I'm going to do that.
All right, sounds good.
So just athletics.
You're 23.
Well, that doesn't work.
Oh, well, with my bonus action, I am going to take the... Well, I did technically attack her, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just going to move away from her since I now have the mobile feat.
Okay.
And
where do you go? It's also slippery here, right? So do you ignore difficult terrain or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm going to use my bonus action to dash because I have the mobile feat, and you ignore difficult terrain when you do that.
So
then I'm just going to
I'm just going to move, like basically just hop out of the water. I try to do the thing. It doesn't work, and I just kind of back up.
Okay.
Did you build Robin for fights in a bathhouse? It sounds like.
Like I said, I don't talk about the Briar Patch House shower days, but they prepared me for the life I live now.
Yeah, so you try. She's clearly learned some moves in the last 2 years herself. She slips out of your grasp snake style and tries to strike, whiffs in empty air as you ghost out of there. It's going to be Jardon next.
So psionics don't need a focus.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
You're about to wow some motherfuckers in here.
Yes. So he's going to use his World of Horror ability from the Crown of Disgust. As an action, choose up to
World of Horror.
As an action,
It's
choose up to
about to
6
go down.
creatures. 6 creatures within 60 feet of you.
Yep.
They have to make a charisma save. They take some damage, a lot of damage, and they're frightened if they fail the save, and their speed's reduced to 0. And any bonus action, this is 7 side points. This is the max. Any bonus action to make, they can make melee attacks still if they're frightened, but otherwise they can't move. So here's the cast of it, and here's the damage, and then describing. They will not see what is coming. They will not see we're wasting our time. Witness the end.
Jeez. I think maybe 2 of them passed. No, 1 of them passed. One of the thugs in the back has he's been like, I've seen some worse shit than that. But everyone else, you can just see them as they momentarily pause, as they grip their heads and their stomachs and just sort of like, what happened? So that was 23, psychic damage there?
Yes.
All right, let's see. 23, half of that. And what, they're frightened now and have to make attempts to move away from you?
Their speed's reduced to 0. They can use your action to punch and kick and melee stuff.
Okay.
But yeah.
And it can repeat the saving throw at the end of one of its turns. All right. Joego.
All right. Joego will walk up to Sash. Joego think Oliver want to have words with you. And
she's like screaming at some unseen horror in her mind.
Why are you so loud? Joego will rage because it's the thing he does.
It is the thing.
And I am just gonna I'm just gonna try and grab her and
chuck
her to Oliver.
Why is that not going?
So that's a 18.
I got a 26 to bust out of that. She's slippery as an eel.
Easily busts out of that. Fortunately for Joego, he has several more attacks.
Yes. Unfortunately.
Oh, you so quick. Joego, remember from last time now. I was ready. Why do you keep screaming? Why do I keep grabbing this stupid dragon head?
All right, you got her this time.
And as my bonus action, I'm just going to chuck her into the water.
Okay. Yeah, you throw her into the into y'all's pool, and yeah, there she goes. Anything else from Joego?
He's going to dance a little.
He's going to do a jig.
Joego really liked this bathhouse.
Make me a dex check to see if you don't fall and break your neck.
He just might. Dex check or saving throw?
It's just a check.
All right. Oh! He busts his ass.
Joego takes Sash, throws behind her in the pool. She lands with a splash, does a victory dance, slips, and falls flat on his ass. Jogo's prone.
That's why there's no horse playing by the pool.
That's why there's no horse playing by the pool. Let's see here. There we go. All right, Oliver, it's your
yes.
Your
okay,
turn.
So I am specifically looking for a section of towels, please, sir. Like a big pile of towels. Anywhere that there's a bunch of big
there's towels all over the place.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. So I'm going to. Oliver is going to look up, smile, and he's going to go Animagia Ojak, and I'm going to cast Animate Objects on 10 towels.
Nice.
And then as a bonus action, I'm going to command those 10 towels to float across the room and attack at a +8 each for 1d4 + 4.
Okay.
And so I just want all these. I looked. I know I don't have a spell focus, but I don't need a spell focus to cast this.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want her to just be absolutely just assaulted by these whipping towels. I assume they're tiny sized.
I mean, they're a big towel. They're like wraparound towels and everything. They're kind of more like small.
Do you think that they're small sized or are they tiny sized?
I would say that they're small. They're small objects. They're not necessarily lethal, but they might be able to, like, if they're soaked, then they'll still do some bludgeoning damage.
Oh, you're not gonna let me make them lethal?
Or you can use them to restrain her and like wrap her up and tie her up as well.
I want to whip and beat and bludgeon the crap out of her with all of these towels.
So you get them nice and soaking wet.
That's it.
Okay, go ahead and roll damage then.
Whoops. Okay, that's not it. You changed their size on me, and I was trying to clear the slots out. So all right, so here's all the attacks +6 since they're size categories. Small. So we got a 17, a 23, a 22, a 22, a 13, a 22, a 17, a 10, a 7, and a 12.
Yes.
So how many hits?
So her AC, well, she's prone, so they have advantage.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll just double it up. Yeah. And then so we got a 23, a 23. It looks
like they all hit.
Yeah. Okay. And then this is all now D6s +2.
Okay.
So that +20. So 54 damage.
54 damage. All right.
And I want to move away.
I mean, she's like lying in the pool, right?
Yeah.
Like she's sort of trying to pick herself up. The pool's not that deep. She's trying to pick herself up, screaming all the while from the psychic assault in her head and the whirl of wet, soaking rat tail towels. 54?
Yeah, 54 damage.
Is she? Let's see.
Just a bunch of towels just.
How much?
I'm trying to keep her underwater.
She's battered and bruised. She's like, she like gets slammed back against the side of the pool and is sort of like trying to climb her way out of it. Not quite dead, but severely battered and knocked about. What was that, Joego?
I was just wondering how much psychic damage she had taken.
She taken 23 already.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
like one of the towels gives her a bloody nose and all kinds of business. It's her turn. Does she take? There's no ongoing damage from World of Horror, is there?
No.
Just
yeah, she can make melee attacks at someone near her, but her speed's 0. She'll save at the end of her turn.
All right, her speed's 0. Oliver's not even in the pool anymore. Is there anyone in the pool? She lashes out blindly. I don't think there's anyone really within.
Jardon, is it?
Jardon, yeah, she might accidentally clip Jardon, I think. Where are we going here? There is my to hit. Should go this to hit. Does 20 hit Jardon? Yep. 20 is going to hit. So she's going to do, it's going to be +3, 4 whole bludgeoning damage. An errant fist clips Jardon as she just sort of like thrashes in the pool and gets whipped by fucking animated towels.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry, not sorry.
That's fine. This guy right here, he was not affected by the visions of impending doom at the hands of time-traveling Illithids who are hurling through the astral sea on their way to the city, and has moved over to where Joego is, and is like just gonna like stomp on your head, kick you in the ribs. I felt like what I really wanted to do is get y'all to 10th level, give you some new magic items, and then make you fight a bunch of monks with no gear. I just felt like that was a fair fight.
What a dick.
So he's going to get 3 of these attacks.
Don't come at me with bards aren't very good.
Oh, he has advantage on these.
Yeah, exactly. Has advantage.
Because you're prone. Because you did your jig. Oh, I don't know if a 14 hits. I don't think
it does not.
All right, first one is not going to get through. The second one's a 22.
That's going to hit.
To hit you, and then a 12. Yeah, good grief. So that is going to be 7 bludgeoning damage from that guy. These other guys have no one within melee that they can attack. Actually, they do. In their screams and thrashings, this noble number 2 is like knocked kind of, he's sort of like slipping and ends up falling in the water on top of this big frog guy. They're all going to make their saves now. Let's see. First guy, come on, saving throw. First guy, 17. He is no longer frightened. Second guy, still frightened. Still frightened. Good grief. 4 of the 5 are, 3 of the 4 that were frightened, still frightened. Number 2 guy comes out of it. That's the end of my go. It's Robin's turn. Oh wait, no. There's a bunch of other people here, and a bunch of other things happen. So, Oliver, I think you had called on the proprietors to lend aid. Yes, or someone had.
Robin had, yeah.
Robin had. Robin notices that out of both pools form large living columns of water that extend outward and start trying to snatch up and grab the offending patrons who are engaged in fisticuffs. They are attacking anyone who is engaged in violence at the moment. We're going to push these other people out of the way. Screw those guys. Where are they?
It clearly wasn't me.
Sure, right? Like,
I'm
you're
just
not
a
actually
naked,
fighting.
just a naked guy over here. I have no idea what's going on. I have no spellcasting, nothing.
Please don't hurt me. I don't have them. Here they are. Thank
Blue
you very
team.
much.
Blue team.
Team blue. This guy hits. That's going to miss, and then another one. Actually, ooh. So the one on Joego, this column of water sort of like arcs over the tiles and slams down on the guy that's like stomping Joego in his head, and like envelops him in this column and pulls him back into the pool where you are, or where it is.
Thank you, weirdo water thing.
Now it's Robin's turn.
Let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Well then. So, Robin, seeing her attacking Jardon, is going to do
some fun stuff here. So I'm going to move towards the edge of the pool and actually leap. And so here's the thing. I don't have a weapon. Is the fist considered a finesse weapon? Can I use my sneak attack damage if I punch her?
If you were a monk, I would let you. If you were a monk, I would let you. But you're not specially trained in fisticuffs beyond just some street fighting you've done.
Such bullshit.
I can literally sneak around.
I don't even have to let you do it if you're a monk.
I know. It's still bullshit though.
Yeah.
So
you're gonna do a damage plus strength with your unarmed attack.
Oh joy, that'll be all of 2.
That's like how Joego did it the whole time last season, right? Like he just
he had a bigger strength and a lot more rage.
That's fair.
So this is what I was going to try to do. I was basically going to try to do like a somersault over Sash and like pull her head into the side of the pool and like brain her on the side of the pool.
Okay, give me an acrobatics check and an attack roll.
Okay. Damn it. There we go. So it's 21 acrobatic.
So you like spring off this rock here.
And attack roll using strength dex. I mean,
I don't know, it sounds like a finesse move.
Okay, so just my standard.
Trying to use her weight against her.
24.
Yeah, so you come down and like as you're landing using your own momentum and her weight against her, and kind of like land with catching her head, and it flips her body out and her like entire lower half slams onto the tile, and you've got her sort of in a reverse headlock.
Yeah.
And you feel her go limp in your arms. I don't have the combat driver. She only had 1 hit point left.
Should have just punched her.
At least it didn't crit on her.
I know.
All right, Jardon, it's your turn.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry for this rest of the team, but you did say earlier the line, I wonder if he's got control of it or if he's a danger to others. So playing off of that, because I have the GIF ready, I don't have to do this, but I think it's appropriate.
Bring it.
Oh, I will beat you down with some towels, Andrew. I'm just saying. Fair warning.
I'm going to use from my Psychic Assault feature a Psychic Blast. As an action, you unleash the devastating psychic energy in a 60-foot cone. Each creature in the area must make an intelligence save or take a bunch of damage. I'm going to use all 7 psi points to boost that damage. And so Jardin's just eyes burst with this energy, and he just howls, just screams, and whatever's going to hit the most people, just a cone out from him across the way. This includes party members.
All right. So you're doing a cone.
So it's an intelligence save 16, and then Here's the damage.
So it's a 60-foot, 35. You're trying to get as many people as possible.
Well, I'm not trying to do it. It's just that's
Gotcha. I feel you. It looks like Robin's going to be safe. I don't know where Oliver went.
He's behind the pool on the left.
Yeah, I'm hugging the
my
wall,
map,
buddy.
Gotcha. My map is different there, but there are some people there who are going to be hit. I'm not going to roll for all these NPCs, but let's get Joego. It looks like just Joego, who's
Okay. So I'm so good at
intelligence save.
Intelligence saves.
Intelligence. I have a GIF prepared for this, so
Nice. Yeah.
That is a 1. That's a 1. Yes.
Ooh. Oh my god, buddy.
Ooh.
Oh.
Well, at least it's psychic damage, because barbarians are really great with that.
You are never going to let somebody else take your pot again.
But I have a bunch of hit points.
yeah, you got lots of health.
Yeah.
It's only 35 damage.
Yes, only 35. All right. I think.
Oh!
Yeah. Let's see. One of my guys passed. So that was 35 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Let's 2. So let's see if anyone has popped yet. 35. That's going to be. Ooh. Yes. These guys right here, 3 of them. The one who got pulled into the water by the water elemental is sort of spared the brunt of the blast. The other 4 that are up on the tile, the ones that were all fisticuffs with you guys, their heads explode in the psychic blast, spewing blood and brain matter and skull bits into all the pools, all over the guests, all on the tile floor. Let's get rid of this guy. Who else is going to go down? I don't think this Mephit is long for this world. And I think Ice Mephit number 1 is obliterated in the psionic blast. Who else? We have this cluster over here of people. The guy with the earthworm who fell in is now fully in the water. There was the blue-skinned woman. She has cast some sort of spell of some kind to try to deflect it. The green toad guy doesn't look bothered at all. And the fish man who's there goes underwater and doesn't look. Can't tell what's going on with him just yet. Nice, excellent. Jardon, ladies and gentlemen, Joego.
Well, Joego is going to get up, dust himself off, and go jump in the water with the Tritons.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. Joego need to clear his head.
All right. So you jump in the ice. I mean, it's frigid, right? It's like jumping into a Slurpee. But yeah, there you are. Do anything else?
Nah, that's it.
All right.
I'm actually going to end my rage.
Okay. Oliver?
So yeah, let me make sure I'm not muted. I'm a professional streamer. So there by my count, there's nobody left, right? We
There's one drowning thug who's drowning currently.
Oh, let's kill him.
Okay.
So we'll all right. Let me do this. Let's send as bonus action. Let me send let me send 5 things over there to attack him.
Okay.
And that is +6 each.
Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, that's 2. Looks like 3 hits.
Okay, and these are actually. Last time I rolled D6s, I meant to roll D8s +2.
Okay.
So that'll be +6. That'll be 20 damage there. And then with the towels, and then I want to send the rest of these to just wrap over Jardon.
Okay.
So they have stats. They have stats. Let me just pull that up here real quick.
Thankfully, they're immune to psychic damage.
Yeah.
Take that.
Right.
So as small objects, they have 25 hit points. They have an AC of 16. They have 6 strength and 14 dex. So I just want them to like just wrap up Jardon, just encompass him. I'll roll whatever you need. If you need me to roll actually like attack rolls with them, I can do that. Whatever you need.
Go ahead and make me attack rolls just to see what, like, just to get them wrapped around him.
And those will be +6. So really,
+6 Jardon's AC.
Dude, that's awful. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's 15, but I think you could get advantage. So
yeah, that sounds about right.
He's nuts.
He seems distracted and not in control of his facilities.
Okie dokie. I mean, I'm not going to argue with that. So we have a 14, we have a way over, we have an 18, we have way over, we have a 12.
Sounds like 3 hit.
Yeah, 4. If you have an AC of 14, it'll be 4.
Yeah.
15 naked.
15
Okay,
AC.
sorry,
15 nude AC.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't really
Everyone's
want them to do
nude
damage.
ACs.
You know, I'm not really looking to do damage. I just want to like wrap over his face, you know, try to grab his arms down, all that stuff.
Gotcha. We'll call Jardon restrained unless he starts spending actions to take the towels off.
Sure.
Cool. So there's a bunch of flurry of activity in the chilling pool. Like I said, the big frog thing is just kind of sitting there low and squat in the water, and then it sort of like guy falls on him, and then there's a psychic blast which he kind of like grunts at. The blue-skinned woman seems to do something. There's a lot of like splashing and flailing about, and all of a sudden the entire thing of water, the entire pool of water starts bleeding outward from this guy with the earthworm thing around his head. And you can see, those of you who are sort of able to, that something is rapidly growing and metastasizing and metamorphosizing in the pool with the frog thing, and what looks like a young mage who's been turned to a mashy pulp by something squeezing him to death. Reactions?
I think that's not within the 4 rules.
Yeah, I think it steps slightly outside of bounds of that. We need our stuff.
Speak for yourself, Robert. I'm doing just fine.
There is just like I said, a flurry of activity. The water starts turning blood red and frothy, and the frog thing picks up the blue skin woman and hops out. The fish person is no idea where they can be seen, and this purple wormed, pale purple with like great big ropey tendrils that form its body, rears up out of the thing. Its mouth sort of opens up like a flower of tentacles, and there's a lamprey-like thing with this big long forked tongue. And I need it looks like everyone but Joego is going to have to make a dexterity save. DC 18.
And they thought I was crazy when I jumped in the pool with the Tritons.
Fucking clutch.
That's going to be 32 acid damage.
Yeah, I just drop below the water's edge and take no damage because I got that evasion son.
And this thing just like spews its head up out of the water, sprays everyone around here. A couple of bystanders get completely dissolved, their bones all soft and bendy as they dissolve into puddles on the tiles. And it looks, it then dunks its head back under the water. That makes it Robin's turn.
So yeah, I'm looking over here at the Merid. Are they freaking out yet?
They're freaking out. They're not fighters, right? They summon fucking feasts and make the water clean, right? They're not whatever. They're the two people over here, this goblin woman and this human woman, they appear to have been casting some kind of spells, but their repertoire is limited because they don't have spell focus. As far as you know, the only thing else that's fighting are these two water weirds in the pools.
Okay, and it still looks like the whole force field thing is up, not allowing anything in here, right?
Correct.
Awesome. Well, I am going to dash. Yeah, I mean, so I know that I can't really do anything to this thing, so I'm going to dash over here and beseech this Merid, like, you have to let me go get my shit and bring it back in here right fucking now.
Of course, please hurry in there,
Okay.
in there.
So just so you know, that was only 40 feet.
Yeah.
That is my move.
There's your move.
I would just like to point that out, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to run into the next room and grab my daggers and try to start making my way back.
Okay. So if all you're getting is your daggers.
I figure that's about the quickest thing I can just grab.
Correct. Then you can. Then you'll be somewhere. Actually, over here near the locker room, getting your daggers from a too slow invisible servant.
Okay, so would that be okay? No, yeah, I can move there and then what? Pick them up as an action.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Then that's my action.
Cool. Jardon.
So wrapped up in the towels, he's not going to try and break out exactly, but he's going to use his, well, not consciously, use his telepathy to kind of share what he's seeing, which likely happens anytime he taps into this power.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to be useful, and his subconscious has a skill that I will, or his new conscious, and I'm going to use the Mantle of Command ability, Strategic Mind, and hold on. No, not that. I can't see. Yeah, I'll use Commander's Sight, but I guess I can't see it. So,
yeah, it is gone under the water.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll use the coordinated movement.
Okay.
And it lets 5 allies move 60 feet as a reaction if they want.
All right.
As he'll send out this wave of this energy.
Up to 5 allies within 60 feet can use their reaction to move at half speed. So that's, I guess, as many as whoever wants to use their reaction.
Joego will use his reaction.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Let's move. Let's move down here.
So we can move how far?
Half your speed.
Yeah, so 5,
So-
10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
So Jim, this plant to the right of this pool here,
Mhm.
how big is that pot that it's in? It looks fairly sizable, but
It's like a fern or something. I mean, it's largely decorative. If you want to just jump over it or...
no, I was talking about getting behind it.
There's a coral outcropping there that will provide some cover.
Okay, yeah. I'm assuming I already have my weapons.
Correct.
So come right back in naked with 2 daggers.
Right.
Gotta be careful with that.
You gotta be very careful.
So yeah, I'm gonna run right up behind that coral then to get me some. Give me some cover, coral.
Coral. All right. So that was Robin's reaction. Joego and Oliver have taken their reactions. That was Jardon's thing. Joego, it is your actual turn. You're over here by the pool. Yes.
Yes.
You can see just enough of it as like the final quarter of it disappears down the drain.
Oh, it's going down the drain?
Yeah, it looks like it's burst through the grating on the floor, and most of it it appears to have gone down the drain.
So we're back to the first episode.
Yeah. Joego is going
Down the
to
drain?
dive in and try and catch it by its tail.
Okay.
He will rage as a bonus action.
Okay.
And I'm just going to try and grab the tail.
So this is a giant slimy worm in a pool of water. I'm going to say I have disadvantage on this roll,
Okay, so that'll put me at regular.
basically.
Crit.
No, just a 26.
It's a 26.
Oh, -1 from that. It's actually a 25.
Oh, you're tied.
Oh my god!
Damn it.
Joego is barely holding on. This thing is it's you can feel it straining against your grip, and the last 3 feet of it comes off in your hands, and you're just left holding like a 3-foot. It's pale, fleshy pale with a purple tinge and veiny and shit, and it's just kind of like there in your hands as you're sitting there in the water.
So, has the water drained out? Is the water like rushing out?
No, the water's not entirely rushing out. It's sort of it will eventually.
Joe takes a deep breath and goes to the crouches down to the bottom and grabs what's left of the grate and pushes his head through to try and see where it went.
You see these old pipes that are probably no more than about a foot to maybe 18 inches in diameter. And you can see around the grate, there's like a bunch of its flesh and everything has been scraped off as it just burst through this thing. It looks like maybe 3 feet down, this pipe takes a 90-degree bend and goes towards the one of the walls.
How thick is the piece that I have in my hands?
It's like a good. It's like a big summer sausage or one of those like fire starter logs or something like that.
So Joego will come back out of the water. It's gone, guys. But do you think we can eat it? I hold up this 3-foot piece. Joego think he can make hamburgers.
Well, Joego, I'm not really sure what a hamburger is, but I don't know if I want to have one made out of that.
It went down the hole.
I'm surveying the whole area for any threats.
So like this explosion of violence, the monks who were there, who at one point were about to just like try to lay the smackdown on you. Most of them are headless, Gallaghered out corpses on the floor. Many of their remaining bodies are dissolved by the acid attack that came after that. They're patrons of the establishment in various states of injury, and all the while the bloody waters are just sloshing up and down over the tiles, just making a real mess.
So I'm trying to figure out what happened here. So I know that whenever we kind of got into the scuff with Sash, but where was the point of origin for the Neothylid?
As far as y'all saw, it was the whatever that was around that guy's neck.
Oh, that was the big one. Okay, all right.
Because looking at his body in the pool, it's been squeezed into 3 pieces.
Okay.
And the water is kind of slowly draining out of that pool.
Joego always tell the kids, be careful what you choose for pet. Sometimes animals are not good pets.
No, sometimes they'll rip you into 3 pieces and try to kill everyone in a bathhouse. Well, Robin is going to go back in and get dressed.
Okay.
He's had enough of this, not having all of his stuff.
Okay. What's everybody else doing?
I want to go see what happened to Jardon, because by my estimation, he just like straight up murdered a whole bunch of people that had nothing to do with that, and so I'm really freaked out right now. I want to kind of just walk up to him. Is Jardon like trying to fight the rest of the towels and stuff like that off of him, or what?
He's kind of slumped down on the edge of the pool.
He feels comforted by being wrapped up tightly and not being able to see. Like a rabid animal.
Jardon, what was that?
How'd that creature explode all them heads?
Sorry. I didn't. I'm sorry. They're gone now. The voices,
I had no idea that you were capable of something like that.
Just imagine. Thousands. With powers greater than mine. The same thing.
I'm not worried about the thousands, Jardon. I'm worried about you. What happened back there? Don't mince words, please. I'm your friend. I'm not here to cast judgment.
Hey.
Here to cast animate object. Oh, sorry.
It is what I learned from them. Are the others all right?
Jardon, we have to talk about this. It won't be this moment. Right now, we're all reeling. And I see that you have a significant burden. But I need you to reach deep down. You cannot be more dangerous to everyone else than the things you fear the most. And until you get a hold of that fear, Jardon, I'm afraid that you will be. Look at me. Promise me that you will get a hold of this. Promise me.
I will try.
And I will help. And so will Joego. And so will Robin. But you must fight this. You cannot let your fear hurt anyone else. You understand this, yes?
Yes. I understand.
Let's get our things. We have much to talk about.
So while Jardon and Oliver are talking, Robin is getting dressed. Robin, it takes you whatever armor you're wearing. You wear light armor, yes. So that's a minute, and then it's going to take you another half minute per pound of gear you have to finish getting up. Time is of the essence if you want to catch this thing or figure out what else is going on. What's Joego doing during this time?
So Joego will bring the piece over towards Oliver and Jardon.
Okay.
Jardon, you always so good at finding things. Can you find the rest of this? And Oliver, what are you talking about? The monster killed all those people. Joego's back was to Jardon when that stuff happened.
Well, there's no visible effect anyway. It's just a bunch of people's heads would have popped.
But it clearly didn't come from the monster that was spewing acid, right?
Clearly not, no.
It pretty much happened just like when all right. I mean, I'm asking. We assume that it happened
before. It sort of happened. People's heads exploded. Guy fell in the pool. Thing shows up. Breathes acid.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jardon will examine it and tap into his. He'll look warily at Oliver, but then just a very slight glow as he'll use his aura sight to assess the foe and kind of figure a little bit more about it.
Okay. Let's see here real quick. While Jardon's doing that, 3 bejeweled and oiled minotaurs come up from underneath from the staircases. They're wearing sort of leather harnesses. They've got gold caps on the end of their horns, and they've got like jeweled beards, and they're just covered in oil. They come up like ready for a fight and don't see anything and begin assisting the Marids with cleanup and whatnot. We'll get to what the NPCs are doing here in just a moment.
You see some of the towels like mopping up some of the blood.
Right. Yes, right. Like you got that spell lasts what, like an hour or something?
Like lasts a minute. So yeah, they'll just be like, help me clean up a little bit.
Assess foes. Let's see.
It's more a combat thing, but just generally speaking.
Yeah, so you reach out while this thing still yet has some of its life essence in it, and you immediately make a psychic connection with this lump of dead flesh. And your experience, Jardon's experience, is incredibly intense. It's very visceral, and you get a sort of a vision of a creature that you missed in your scouring of the Seeker's lair that has slowly and methodically tried to worm its way into some position of to find a lair or something, and had latched on to that individual that was carrying it, and only at the last minute metastasized into its mature form from its larval stage.
Okay. And before I move on that, you made me look up sexy minotaur, so I'm going to share it with you.
I hope that you do.
Well, no.
Listen, I know who our audience is. I know what they seem to enjoy. And if you guys had gone downstairs, you guys would have been treated to a bunch of oily minotaurs doing like Soviet Russia style masseuse sort of things. But it's fine. I'm not hurt that those NPCs didn't get to be used. I'll just save them for later.
We'll come back.
We'll save them for the end, and hopefully it will be happy.
I got another level 5 spell slot. It's fine.
Oh, fantastic. Jardon will say,
That's where the mud pits were. Yeah.
it is one of theirs. It is Neolithic creature. Dangerous. We must find it and stop it soon. Please.
So it is true. I kind of say that more to myself than anybody else.
Do you think it still has a connection to its old master's people?
I've not been able to encounter not to call it weak, as he gestures to the acid burned all over him, but a lesser of their minions. I did not think there would be such an encounter. I have longed for this, he says, covered in gore, and see the heads burst around him. Find one. To find some clue.
Well,
we must go after it.
I couldn't agree more.
What choice do we have? And I kind of like smile back. Joego, I think you will need your pot. I believe, as the saying goes, we're going to get the band back together.
Yes, Joego will definitely need his pot, especially if they're brain eaters.
Fucking bards.
Jogo's going to go grab his stuff and put the pot on his head and put his belt on. And just before leaving, he's going to look down and be like, oh, Joego need pants.
No, pot. Not. Oh, right. Yes.
Yes, pants too, please.
Yeah, you should have gotten dressed when I did.
Yeah, so far Robin's the only one that's actually dressed.
I mean, I wasn't wearing like all my gear, like all backpack and all that shit, but I was wearing all of my items. So,
gotcha.
So yes,
so your cape and your daggers.
Cape, my daggers,
no pants.
No. I got my clothes. I got my mending clothes on. That self mend.
Yeah, let's load up, buddy.
But when Robin talks, you kind of notice that like it doesn't sound like it's coming from where you see him. You're just like almost like just off a little bit. I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah, Robin's got weird on us.
Yeah, Joego definitely spends some time being that guy at the gym that just wants to sit there and have a conversation with you naked.
Yeah, so what are you eating now, huh? You getting a lot of protein? Yeah. My creatine? Yeah.
Leg day again. Leg day. Yeah. Yeah, so everybody else is getting dressed.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're gonna get dressed.
Has that pool already drained?
Well, part of the pool is a water elemental that's always there. and so that the part of the pool that is the water elemental is still there, and the most of the efforts most of what the NPCs are doing now, the Marids and the Mephits that are remaining are sort of cleaning up everything. The Marids have got all the blood and gore and viscera in a giant floating ball and have purified the water otherwise.
Yeah, so I'm going to yell out to the Merid. I'm like, hey, can you get this thing out of here so we can chase that thing down?
Storm upon the seas whistles, and the water forms into a column and sort of like hops between pools into the southern pool.
No, Robin, it's too small.
Yeah, but you're looking down at the drain, and it's like a foot, maybe. At the opening itself is probably 18 inches, but it quickly narrows to about a foot.
I'm gonna find out where this goes. To the sewers.
So
it goes down.
What do we know about the sewers, Jim? I mean, I don't think that they're going to go down more than like 120 feet or something like that. Do I?
Well, there's a lot of rock and stone in between that, depending on. You're talking about like range for divination spells, or
I want to de-door somebody down there to see what like where, just check it out. And I think that de-door is like 400 feet straight down.
Yeah.
500. Okay.
Yeah, it's not quite. Parts of it extend further than that. You would be well into the undercity at 500 feet or so. You'd blow right past the sewers, basically. But teleportation's dangerous just because there's a lot of solid rock down there. I guess I'm.
We might.
It's been a while since I read Dimension Door. I don't know if you can do it without. I don't know if you can make a hop blind or not.
You arrive exactly at the spot desired. It can be a place you can see, when you can visualize, or when you can describe by stating a distance and direction, such as 200 feet straight down or upward to the northeast at a 45-degree angle, 300 feet.
Gotcha. Make me.
So yeah, I'm gonna go over to that drain and look down, like take a coin out and flip it down and see if it hits the ground.
Okay. What's up?
I'm sorry. And I put my goggles down on my eyes.
Gotcha. Looking down, you see it drops about 6 feet before taking a 90-degree turn. It looks like it heads towards the northwest. So you drop the coin down and it rolls, and you can hear it rolling along the pipe for quite some ways.
Northwest.
There was a time I knew every inch of what was below the city. There was a time I could shrink myself and crawl down there. But that time feels long ago. And I remember so little.
I'm not sure that how much will be gained by following that particular worm. Let's go with one. So perhaps a regrouping back at the manse might be in order before another trek down to the sewers. Tell me, Joego, is Yavo still making home down in the sewers?
Does Yavo still have hideouts down there?
He still has hideouts down there, but he's sort of turned a new leaf. A lot of what Yavo has done over the last 2 years is to clean up that burned down section of town, and he's kind of become part street gang, part construction crew, in a way. Seems fitting for his demeanor. Let's see, where do we have here? I'll pull up Dimension Door just so we have it if we need it. So yeah, the answer to that question is yes, there are still hideouts, but the sewers are labyrinthine. They run for miles under the city and intersect with older parts still to create the whole undercity. If you want to get down here, that there's probably an entrance to a sub basement somewhere within the grotto, even if it's just like a wall that they plastered over or something like that.
You want us to go see these guys again, don't
So,
Oh yeah.
So Jardon,
Oh,
you
yeah.
think there's more Neo Larrys?
Well, if it's bleeding, we could probably track it.
Yes.
Good call.
Whole universe of them, worming and squirming, and biting and daring.
Magnificent. Yes. We need a way down. Where's the quickest way down to the pipes below?
Yes, please, please. Oh, I'm so, I'm sincerest and most apologetic apologies to you. He just goes on with this, how in the world could this have happened? I did not know that they were meant you ill will and this creature that came about. Oh, as he leads you down the spiral staircase. And I get to pull up the second map that I made for this evening.
Oh,
I know, right?
Where did you make these maps at?
It was Dungeon Painter Studio. It didn't take that long. You get to play with the tints, so you can have like different colored tiles and everything like that. It's quite handy.
I almost wish there was somebody who had tutorials on how to use that.
I know,
piece of
or
software.
would occasionally release a map or something and do a hangout in which you can watch them build. I agree, man. So here we are. I believe I've shared it with you. Let's go ahead and populate it with colorful characters.
By the way, guys, while we're doing a little bit of a range in here, we today and I think tomorrow is the last days to grab the Saber Dice shirts for this run. Now there'll probably be runs after this, but I don't know if there will be another chance to grab the Save 4 Dice shirts. So I've put a couple links around. They're around. I'll link it a couple more times. Just a heads up on that.
I got mine today.
What color did you go with?
I went with navy.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of red shirts and charcoal. It's just like a
Dave
Save 4 Dice as well.
Dave talked me into the red. He talked me into the red. Look good.
I usually have dark colors.
Yeah.
Look good.
So you're in the basement of the grotto, and you descend maybe 15 feet down. Ceilings here are really low. In this room, immediately to your south, there are 3 platforms where the Minotaurs are, would otherwise be manhandling their patients. There's a hobgoblin down here scraping oil off of himself. It's like, those Minotaurs are not going to finish the job this time. Some other people, and then in the other room is a bunch of mud baths. Of which some goblins are having a nice time. And it is into that room that Magnificence, unanswered, takes you to the far corner and lifts up one of the tile floor sections to reveal a sort of an old wooden trapdoor. This sub-basement was inadequate for our purposes and is mostly used for old storage now. It has been, how do you say, a halfling's age since we were down there? Is that right? I don't remember. I'm not very smart. Please, by all means, descend.
I believe after you, Joego.
Look down. How far does it go?
It looks like it descends 10 feet to it smells horrible when you open the door. The air is stale, mildewy, moldy kind of thing. And just looking down here, the boxes and crates and whatever they're using for storage here has been just no organization to it whatsoever. But it descends 10 feet into the sub-basement. You're already by now at least 10 feet underground as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll have my daggers out and I'll just hop down there.
Okay.
Have my goggles on, scanning. Immediately start stealthing.
I specifically want to walk behind Jardon.
Okay. So yeah, let's give me some rough marching order then. I've got Robin up front. Who's
I'll
next?
follow closely behind Robin.
Joego.
Joego, I'm sorry. Sorry. Sorry.
Sorry for what, Jardon?
I'm not strong enough yet. I'm sorry. I hurt you. I never want to hurt you.
No, the monster in the water. Give Joego a headache.
You make sure you wear that pot very tightly, okay?
Joego will.
Good. Old friend.
Joego knows Jardon's friend. That's okay. He reaches back. He'll reach back and pat you. Jardon on the shoulder.
So yeah, Robin descends. I've marching order. I've got Robin, Joego, Jardon, and then Oliver, because Oliver was going to be marching behind Jardon. Robin descends. The sub basement is not quite as large as the basement, but it is an open room supported by kind of a forest of old columns that are keeping this place from collapsing in on itself. Like I said, there's mountains and piles of boxes, crates, old building materials. Looks like just whatever it is they used to clear out this place was all stashed down here and has just been left to rot, because if they need anything, they basically just summon it with their genie magic. And so here you are, Robin Steele.
Yeah, so I just kind of blend into the darkness as you kind of notice a bit of a shadow, like almost like shadow, like drifting off of me, almost like smoldering off of me.
Oh my god!
And maybe it's the temperature change coming from the sauna. You don't know. Plays a trick on your eyes, but then I'm just gone, and just kind of take the lead, sneaking through the dark.
All right, Joego. Robin disappears into the darkness.
Robin, where you go? As I stomp behind him.
There's no response.
A soft, quiet sigh.
So sneaky.
Are we doing this again? All right, let's go into stealth mode.
Are you going in stealth mode?
I haven't forgotten.
No. Jardon and Oliver, do you descend the stairs into the sub basement?
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Gotcha. Like I said, there's a lot of crates and boxes up here. Oliver, you lack dark vision, correct?
That is. Can you not hear me? That is correct, sir.
Okay, so we're gonna bust some light out in here.
Yeah, I'll cast light on something, and you know what? I'm gonna pull out from my bag of holding a good old little trick from my wand of unseen servant. You see me return with the cloak and a mask and a old scroll tube. I'm gonna put a rock inside that, cast light on it, and hand it off to Gerard, my butler, Gerard, and have him use provide some light for Oliver up ahead.
Yes.
Oh, I really did miss Gerard.
Got them creative spell uses, son.
Unseen Servant's a great spell. It's like, why would you ever open your own door if a first level ritual can do it for you?
I still have my picture of Gerard.
Uh-oh.
Oh, snap. With the mustache. I think he had a mustache. Oh, there you go.
There it is.
There it is. Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, but I'm gonna cloak him up and mask him up. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And I want him to walk behind. So if anything comes up from behind, all of a sudden the light goes out. I'll panic a little.
Gotcha. So Gerard illuminates the scene a little better. These boxes are in, they sit above a bathhouse, and this sub basement is full of water dripping down from the ceiling. Little mildewy pockets of greenish slime and blackened molds grow all along the ceilings, just waiting for some nefarious demon lord to come along and turn them into monsters. And it's the boxes are all rotten, and the carpets that are in here are all mildewy. It's just a nightmare. But you can see, Robin, you're up ahead, and in the shadowy half light provided by Gerard's torch.
I don't need that shit.
That's true. You don't need that shit. You can see a giant hole in the ceiling with stone that's smoothed over, melted, and it looks like something in the ceiling has collapsed through onto the boxes. There's a very big mess there.
Can I do a little bit of an investigate to confirm what my suspicions already are screaming at me?
Yeah.
15.
15. What do you see?
Well, I'm just looking. I'm looking to see if there's this thing spit acid. He ripped its tail off, so there's probably going to be some form of corrosion, maybe some blood, and a trail slinking off. I mean, this thing was kind of snake-like.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for those clues, basically.
You find those clues. You find a ceiling that has been collapsed with evidence of corrosive liquid used upon the stone. You see a great big sloppy mess of a crash landing with slime and corrosive liquids slowly eating away at the soft wood of the boxes. And you can see a trail of debris and slime that slinks further into the darkness up ahead.
We're on the trail.
It looks like the room narrows, maybe, and it looks like between two of the columns there is a opening that leads to another chamber beyond this one.
All right. I'll just make sure. It's here.
Jim Davis, I want to knock a bow. And if there's anything that I think is going to put us into like a major threat, I'm going to try to cast a bonus spell. But okay. I mean, I just want to let you know that's what's kind of going on. He's trying to prepare. He is getting prepared for combat.
Gotcha. How about Joego and Jardon?
Joego just has slipped on these extra large brass knuckles. But other than that, he's pretty much just wearing his normal gear. He's got his cooking utensils hanging off his belt. And
how about Jardon? Did you take the gourmand feat, Joego?
I did not. It would have been great to take. I did not think about it.
I was hoping either you or Jardon would take the gourmand feat.
I went a little different direction in my
you don't say.
Jardon's gonna pull his also wispy weird cloak. There's enough displacer beast to make 2 cloaks.
Oh yeah,
little adventure.
It was a dire displacer beast.
It was a dire displacer beast. He's got a shield out that has a big eye on it that's looking around. His pot has these glowing crystals on it, and he's holding tight this amulet, and he looks nervous, more not scared at all exactly of what's to come, but rather what's within, and he'll follow closely behind Joego.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I didn't give y'all a chance to kind of describe a bit more of the new gear that your characters had acquired. But if it's relevant, please go right ahead with the description. I need Robin and Joego to make me perception checks.
Okay. And I will just say, if anybody looks down following in Robin's footsteps, they're going to notice that there's it looks like a cloven hoofed animal is walking down here, like one of the minotaurs from upstairs. 25 perception.
Sweet. 21 for Joego. Both Robin and Joego notice movement to the boxes from their left.
Yeah, I'll freeze.
Yeah, you can just, it's like Joego a faint scraping on the stone. Shadow on the wall. What's that, Joego?
Hey, I'm going to go investigate. Hey,
all right.
You behind there. What are you doing?
Everybody sees Joego go and investigate.
I'm not going to cast anything until I see an actual enemy.
Okay, Jardon.
He's gonna perk up his aura sight and start looking around. Eyes glowing.
Joego, how do you approach the source of movement that you thought you saw?
Joego would walk up to it like he was walking up to somebody on the street. Pretty confident, not all that worried about it.
Okay. You can hear sort of like a hushed whisper of some kind as you get close, and there's like a wall of boxes, maybe like 5 feet high, and there's sound of just like shh, coming from behind the boxes.
Oh, definitely he's gonna just lean over them and be like, "Hey, I cannot hear you. Speak up."
And 2 little small gremlin-y creatures that are just like leave little muddy footprints everywhere they go, and they're just like and they run to a corner about 5 feet away from where Joego is and hide their faces from him.
Are they?
They're not gutter fairies, but they're of a stripe.
I call out in Goblin, like, "What are you?"
Nothing answers back in Goblin. Are you up there? Is Robin up there?
I mean, I was in the lead. So
you went over and investigated with Joego?
Well, no. I knew that Joego was going to go right at it, so I was just lying in wait, like hiding.
There's still boxes between you and whatever it is that's screaming. So okay, nothing answers you.
Okay. Well, I'll move up and see what it is.
Okay. They don't look like goblins. They're much tinier, smaller. They're about the size of gutter fairies, but they don't look like gutter fairies.
Did you see? Sorry, go ahead.
Jogo's going to advance them and try and grab them.
Okay. Let's make a quick... they're scared shitless. You're going to get to go before them. So go ahead and make me an athletics check.
All right. So that's a 23.
I'm going to go ahead and take a stab in the dark and say they don't have a bonus. They probably have a penalty. That's a 14.
All right. So snakes up one of them and goes after the other one with a 16.
3.
So he just grabs them both by the scruff of their necks. Is like holding. Why you yell so loud? You hurt Jogo's ears. It's okay, little guys.
You're not Zarios. One of them says to you, and its breath is just like foul, like it's been eating manure or something. It's just.
So the Phillies won down here too.
Yes.
I Joego.
Using one of my powers, Jardon's going to reach out with Read Moods and get a 1-word summary of the emotional state of up to 6 creatures you can see, such as happy, confused, afraid, or violent.
Afraid from the tiny creatures, and then whatever moods they get from the players.
Alert.
Anxiousness.
I Joego. Who you?
Serenity.
Bliss. Just.
Yeah. Afraid.
Yeah, they're afraid. Jogo's, he's like a, they look
Did you
like
see something pass by here, little ones? We don't want to hurt you.
What? I didn't see that something came through the ceiling, and
Right.
But we didn't see anything. We hid. Thought it was Zarios or perhaps Zax.
Have we heard those names before?
No.
I bet they're probably employees of the spa.
Joego don't know them, and Joego knows everyone in the city.
Yeah,
you know Joego.
Employees is a nice word to call what these people are for the merits.
Yeah.
Indentured
servants.
They're not necessarily paid, and they can't really leave. That kind of thing.
Please don't say anything. We can't give you anything.
Joego takes exploratory sniff at each of them.
They smell like shit. They're quite disgusting.
Jardon would like to walk forward, and he'll look to Oliver. I am calm now. I something.
Yes.
He's gonna try and mind meld
Go
with
ahead.
them.
Okay.
They can resist it with an intelligence save.
They can they? That's highly unlikely. 5.
Okay. So it gains access to one memory, recalling perfectly what it saw or did. He's gonna pry around for what put them behind the boxes.
They were down here, just loafing around, not cleansing the mud like it was supposed to be cleansed. When they heard a giant crash through the ceiling, and when they peeked out, they saw what it was and were terrified and tried to hide.
Which way did it go?
One of them the one that your mind melded with sort of like looks at you and says, it went down in the other room. We don't go in that room very often. It's very dark and very smelly.
Oh, sorry. It only works on creatures with an intelligence of at least 2, so I don't think it works.
Yeah.
They have at least 2.
What's in the room?
There's more stuff, and then there's an old staircase.
And sometimes things come up from it, and I don't go in there very often.
What kind of things, specifically?
Sometimes a person, not often. Last week there was, and they go and argue about rats, bats, other weird things.
Cool.
There's all manner of weird shit in the sewers here that just lives there.
There's no large earthworms coming up this direction.
Nothing so big as that. Maybe a crocodile. Yes, crocodile.
I'm sure that there was. I'll just kind of glance over at Jardon.
Hey, Jardon, can you clean these like you used to do before?
You're asking the Mephits if they can clean something?
No, Jardon.
Oh.
Maybe your wall a sewer water or something, make them smell nicer.
I'm sorry. I cannot.
One of them.
Words.
I think we should move to the next room. This thing is getting further away. I mean,
yeah.
They verified what we already knew.
I agree.
One of them burps up a bunch of mud on Jogo's hand.
Thank you. We stay out of trouble. We kind of like turn and kind of refocus in.
Can I keep them?
They said not to leave the place, not to leave the grotto. I don't. Please, we can be friends. Yes, you come visit.
Okay, Joego no want you to get in trouble. Puts them down and pats them on their heads.
Thank you. And they kind of like just kick some debris around and look sheepish as you leave them be.
Joego will reach into his bag and pull out a couple of honey cakes and put them down next to him as it.
Oh, they are just like they give your shins a little muddy hug. Yes, there is a larger, a tunnel that leads maybe 10 feet before it opens up into a much smaller room, and it looks like there is a spiraling staircase that leads down, covered in, gross water and sludge.
Of course there is.
I could whip up such a poo storm if I was still a druid.
Oh man, the poo storm is.
I once again sleek off into the darkness, just like we're like, where the fuck did Robin go? It's a 32 on my stealth.
They just disappear and start moving towards the staircase and down.
This is for audience member. I'm going to call them out very specifically. BearTube93, this is for you.
That's a lot of sexy crocodile.
Yep.
Oh snap! Look at that bling. All right, so yeah, let's follow Robin down, and still on edge, still looking for this creature.
Okay. You're following down a fresh slime trail, and there is a nice sort of corrosive groove in the stone that you can tell from where its tail snapped off by Joego's mighty thewed hands. Robin takes the lead. This staircase descends probably 30 feet or so until it exits out into a small service tunnel. The sewers are used by thieves and ne'er-do-wells as a highway, basically. And our viewers will recall that the sewers are part of this great city of Orichala, Palatine, where there are no laws, there are no custom. Whatever happens down here, happens down here. And this is where a great many disputes are settled, bodies are stashed, and ill deeds are performed. So Robin steps forward into a access tunnel that he's aware of will probably connect with the mainline sewer somewhere. From there, it's anyone's guess. The sewers are old, not kept up very well, and in the north part of the city like this, there's no one here that's ever going down and making sure that a section that collapses isn't repaired or something like that. You are in a other world full of cast-off alchemical creatures, the leavings of potions that didn't quite make it, that pool into great cisterns and weave their magics together, and the outcasts of the city that refuse to live on the surface and have instead made their home down here in the Undercity. Our viewers are going to have to tune in next week for the second half of our bug hunt. As our heroes descend into the Undercity in search of an illithid creature of some kind, a remnant of the Seekers. What's that?
I believe, according to Jardon, it's Neo Larry.
It is a Neo Larry.
Jim Davis, you magnificent bastard. Before you guys, so listen, we're not going anywhere. We've got Andrew back. We're happy to have Andrew back here. So we're gonna hang out a little bit with you guys. What we want to do real quick is we want to go take a quick bathroom break and come back and just hang out with you guys for a few minutes. I don't know how long we'll be hanging out, but yeah, we're going to do that. So before we even go on break real quick, we want to give a big thank you to our sponsors who make this show possible. And I mean that, guys. They really do make the show possible. They're big supporters of ours. And that, of course, is Fantasy Grounds, our virtual tabletop of choice. And then all the maps that you guys see on the show have been and will be for the foreseeable future created in Dungeon Painter Studio by pyromancers.com. You can pick both of those things up on Steam, so go check those out. We'll put links down in the description below whenever this video goes live. And so we want to give a big thank you to those guys first and foremost. All right, so let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll take some questions. We'll talk a little bit about, I guess, just season 1.2.
Sure, we can talk about whatever you want. We can talk about why you like these characters and whatever you want.
All right, guys, we'll be back in
where Andrew gets these sexy Minotaur photos.
We'll be back in 4 to 5 minutes, guys. We'll catch you.
All right. Yeah, you
that I
did.
could do just this.
We're
I'm
going
sure you
we're
did.
going back live. I don't care. We got it.
What is that? Sadotristication? Ear
Uh-huh.
fucking? Or is that a real thing? I can't remember if that was just a comedy bit.
Oh gosh. And yeah, you guys will notice that some of the names have been moved around. That's just a Zoom thing. We're not worried about it. You guys know who we are.
Whoa, I don't know, man. I don't like the fact that
Okay.
Robin Steele
Robin
is being
Steele-
defiled
all right.
by Jim being defiled by baby Firefox.
All right, we'll move everybody back around. Since that's the thing. Jim's in the right place. We'll move Robin back.
All right.
Where's Dave now? Dave's in the top right. All right, we'll get him fixed. There we go.
Oh my god.
Do you want a full high-res version of that picture, Jim?
I do. I'll take it.
Can we get that GIF made?
Can we
Is
get
that-
it made and put it
I'll
on
take
Twitter?
it.
So first off,
Are we doing QA now? Are we live?
I don't know. You guys wanted to do like a campaign session?
Let's just jump in. Like, okay, I do like the campaign. I do like session reflections.
Okay.
Like I've been on a couple of one shots where like tell us what it was like, and I think it's something nice. Like I'm curious. You know, we played these characters for what 12-ish sessions.
Yep.
Before we switched it up.
This is Unlucky 13 or something around there. Yeah.
Something like that. So yeah, I'm curious. Like session reflections. What do you think of your characters? Tell us a bit about it. Let's go reverse and start with Dave.
Dave doesn't have headphones on, buddy. I don't think
He doesn't have headphones
on. He didn't hear none of that shit. We love you, Dave.
All right.
We love you, Dave.
Pruitt. Yeah, let's do Pruitt first.
Session reflection. This is your section. Okay. So this was pretty fucking awesome. It was great to get back into the city of Orichalca Palpatine. Orca Colcum Palpatine.
Oracle Bombs.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was great. The Bathhouse fight was awesome. It goes to show you how hard it is to do anything if you're a character that's based on using certain items.
Well, I wanted to put you guys in a situation where you were nothing versus some monks, and I thought that would be fun. I at the time I was thinking like, oh, okay, Jardon will become a moon druid, and fight a couple of them. So 6 should be enough to give a couple of rounds of fisticuffs. I like how it played out though. So sorry to interrupt you though.
Oh no. It was absolutely great though. Because I absolutely love the character of Robin Steele, and the fact that he is almost fully realized in his current form. Got the goggles of night now, so he fucking
give us a breakdown. What can you do?
Yeah, so now I just went straight to 10 in Thief. So he's got the super sneak now, so that's why I didn't go with the cloak of Elvenkind or the boots.
Mm-hmm.
I got the cloak of displacement now because disadvantage to attack me. Thank you. And if you do, I'll use my reaction to half that damage.
Yeah,
so
it's nice. It's nice.
It works. Got his dex up to 18 finally at least. Maybe if we do this again, we'll bump him up to 12, and I'll finally have a 20 dex. But also picked up a few of those common items from Xanathar's. Got the smoldering armor and the boots that change your tracks, which I think that's just such a great item.
That's a great item,
right?
Yep. Especially for a thief.
For a thief, you're always leaving different footprints everywhere. It's like, oh, that's not my foot, obviously. What do you think about that? But still got the oldies and goldies, the ring of mind shielding, and the amulet of proof against detection.
You're like a ghost in this city. No one's scrying on Robin Steele.
No one knows where I am, and if you finally do see me, I'm not exactly where I am. That's what I love about it. But he's totally Batman. I went ahead and took the mobile feat, so now I can, I don't even have to waste my bonus action to disengage anymore. I'll just punch you in the face and run off and hide and come back and sneaky attack you again. So I look forward to getting into some real shit here, and Andrew has got his own little pirate cat. That's nice. Adorable. I need to get one of my. Hey, you fucks are lazy.
Is that all we're doing? Is getting out animals?
Yeah, mine are asleep on the bed over here. Anyway, so yeah, I thought the session was great. I can't wait to see what you got in store for us next week because I know it's going to be nuts. And
well, yeah, it is. We're gonna go into the Undercity, which we only did in the first episode of the last season, and we had a sewer druid and a thief that had been going through the sewers, and we never went in that y'all never turned that way. The game just sort of evolved in a way where the sewers weren't really.
We wanted to throw big fancy parties with Manderhouse.
We wanted to throw big fancy parties and other things, which is fine. So I figured let's send you guys down into the Undercity and see what it's like.
Yeah, it's where Robin's technically been spending like most of the last 2 years.
Right.
Like, seriously.
Yeah. Maybe he has a lair down here.
He'd never tell.
Yeah, of course not. All right, Dave, I put you on the spot earlier.
No worries. I would have went. I just didn't realize we were live already.
Oh, yeah.
But Joego was great to revisit, and I just went straight barbarian. I didn't give him any fancy items. I figured Joego is more likely to just leave things around and give them away than he is to use them. So I just gave him a giant strength belt and some brass knuckles in case we have to hit something that requires magic. And he's got his iconic spectacles.
Yes, his spectacles of smartness.
I was a little disappointed in the bathhouse scene because all their heads blew up before I got to do what I was going to do next. I was going to do a running slide across the floor at the two monks that were in a line.
Nice. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, so Joego is always fun. When I decided to come up with a character for this game, I just picked something that I've always wanted to play, which is an urban barbarian, and just have fun with it. I did consider asking you if I could switch over to the ancestral barbarian because it was UA when we first started this campaign.
Yeah.
And my original idea was for Joego to channel the spirit of the city.
I'm totally down for that if you want to experiment. I'm definitely down for that. My initial reticence for UA was just like, could we make it work in fantasy grounds? Not so much for balance, but that's cool as well. I also like the way you've done the totem as sort of like emblematic of the city kind of thing. Let's see. Jardon?
So I made a few changes, and so these guys approached me last week. Hey, we all died in our game. We'd love for you to revisit these characters and those kind of things. And so you want to play Jardon again? And at first, I leveled them up. I'll just have it done and ready to 10th level druid. But then I started thinking, what was the most, big impactful event for him, and what would he be like 2 years later? And then I, thought of the Seeker and his encounter with that, and just took him in a direction of mania and paranoia. And he went with 10 levels, just replaced, because there's not really guidelines for characters. Like you could multi-class, right? 3 mystic, 7 druid, but I didn't see that. Like I just saw him as missing and forgetting all of that stuff and embracing this new. Jim?
I was just gonna say the way you explained it to me made it sound like he went obsessive into figuring out how their abilities worked and just completely forgot how to be a druid.
Yeah,
that's what I liked about it. I thought it was like, sure, just remake him. At that point.
Yeah, he got rid of all his previous magic items and bought up or traded or stole or whatever the items he feels would be most helpful at locating these creatures. And he's got some dimensional shackles that he hasn't brought out yet, binding these creatures and learning about them. The sentinel shields, he took the alert feat, alert plus observant, so like just really going straight into the he's very different. And I'll do more in depth on. I'll do a video because Mystic.
Look forward to that video. Yeah,
Mystic is really strong and has tons of abilities. Like at this stage, I have 5 disciplines, which each of them have 5 abilities. Or so 6 abilities. So there's a lot to unpack. And I'm curious. We'll come back to it. I think so we can let Oliver describe his change, but I have a very important question for Jim.
Sure. Yeah. All right, Oliver. You've.
So I mean, I talked a little bit about it at the beginning of the game. In So here's the when I first built Oliver, I thought the game that you pitched, Jim, was kind of different than I think like what I thought you were pitching, if that makes sense. Like based off of what you described, I thought we were going to be doing like a lot of like espionage. We were doing like thieves guilds and stuff like that. And so I built a character kind of geared towards that. Like I took the actor feat. I mean, let's be honest, the actor feat is fun, right? It's fun, but you know, it's not resilient. You know, it's not Warcast or anything like that. So and then a lot of my spell lists were you know, charms and things along those lines. Yeah. And you know, when we came back to Oliver, you were like, hey, you know, make any changes you want to make. And I really thought about making him a archer, a pure archer, because he was already headed that way. And ultimately, I decided, you know what, let's just roll with him like he is. So I didn't really change much. I just leveled him up. Some of the spells I changed a little bit, which is within, you know, reason of the class, because you can actually change those spells out as you level the last few levels. And so I didn't really do a lot. I thought that it would make sense for Oliver at the end of the season. He kind of found his voice through the fear. And there was a moment where he kind of went, that moment that he went to Uther, and he really like gave him like kind of like he dressed him down, you know, he really talked down to him. And that was kind of like Uther could probably take Oliver pretty easily. And so, you know, I thought that was kind of like a changing point for him. And, you know, with everything that happened here in the Street of Spells, he knew that, you know, and if you guys watched if you guys have seen the end of that show, you know, he knew that he wasn't the one that wanted to lead. He wasn't a good leader. Like, that was the best thing about Oliver, is that he knew that, yeah, we probably can run the Street of Spells, but Oliver shouldn't. Because that's not really good for him. He wasn't very wise. Often during that season, Jardon was kind of the group's anchor to morality.
Yeah, definitely.
And Oliver was not. Oliver was kind of frantic. So I thought it would make sense for him to kind of go off and travel and experience things on his own. You know, he grew up really close to Robin and Joego, and with Jardon kind of being like an occasional part of their life. I thought it would make sense for Oliver to go off and experience. And so when I brought him back 2 years later, I leveled up. I wanted him to have experience. Out of everybody in the group, he's really the one that was like, I'm leaving. You know, I did something amazing here, but you know, I've got to go work on me, and I've got to go be prepared for something like this to happen again. My eyes had kind of been opened to what, you know, never even crossed Oliver's mind, that the luminaries would be summoning a demon occasionally and casually. And, you know, after having dealt with all of that, I thought it would make sense for him to go off and you know, he studied archery with the elves, and, you know, he picked up different ways and different spells in some other cities in Sertoria. And so when I brought Oliver back, I thought I want to make him a dynamic character, like, a lot like Andrew did, not to that extreme. And I thought it would be cool for Oliver to have kind of like be in that superhero second movie where they've overcome the like newness of being in charge and learning their powers and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I wanted to bring Oliver back with.
Nice.
And as far as items go, by the way, he already had ranks of archery, so I just gave him a +2 bow so that he could be very efficient in combat. And then, you know, of course, he's going to rely on Swift Quiver, Haste, and Animate Objects for his build.
Sweet. Andrew, we had a question.
Yeah, so just a little comment about the anchor. I wanted to see what what the group does with no anchor, just see where the ship goes when your anchor is totally nuts.
I like that juxtaposition, because so often Jardon was the heart and the center point, you know what I mean? And I really like the decision to just completely flip that and go full paranoid.
And my question for you, Jim, was, see, I was worried at the beginning, as I'm pitching all these, like, this is a big adventure campaign thing to go and deal with these things that are real and worrisome. And I'm like, what? We're just going to fight in a bathhouse, and like, is it going to have nothing to do with this? And just something that happens later. But my question for you was, was the Neolithid put in there after Jardon? I sent you that thing, or you already had Illithid?
No, I'll show you my notes. I was thinking of big wormy beasts, and I've got like Remoras, purple worm. I wanted a bug hunt in the sewers. Is why I know I wanted two things for this two-parter. I wanted a bathhouse fight like Eastern Promises.
I'm sorry, buddy.
That's fine. That's all right. That's why we use dice. You know, it's always unpredictable. A naked fight in a bathhouse, right? You guys didn't even get to the Minotaurs either. And a bug hunt through the sewers. And so I was like looking for big wormy monsters. I was like, purple worm's kind of boring. Remoras doesn't really fit. And then I was like, a Neothelid is a perfect thing. And of course I'll modify it so it's not a by the book encounter and make it a bit more interesting. But it's a big acid spewing brain worm. And then it fit, right? It's like, where did this apprentice find this thing? Well, it's a leftover from the Seeker's lair, right? The Seeker's probably breeding tadpoles and not having an elder brain to put them in. These things are going to eventually become Neothelids. And I was just like, really, Jardon going Mystic was the missing key, because what I was worried about was that it would feel forced. And like, there's this guy with a weird familiar and something happens. And it becomes this monster. Well, I now have kind of a justification in that there's another psychic in the bathhouse that can feed this thing energy, maybe without knowing it, and it pops.
I loved what you two worked up together. Like, I thought that was super cool. Like, you know, and it's my character coming back and be like that. This is not what I expected at all. I thought it was nice. It was good.
Shit, I have 3 or 4 pages of NPC notes because I was like, man, I gotta fill some time. There's gonna be some RP where they want to talk, they want to mix it up, and I was like, what's this wizard gonna say? What's the frog guy gonna say?
How did you guys feel about just like jumping back into the story though? Right?
I liked it. I mean, I put callbacks in there, right? Sash was a callback. She escaped that final fight. The rest of the Oxblood Collective have been training for monks for 2 years to find a way to fight you guys or something. But I wanted callbacks to season 1, but at the same time, there's a big dangling threat in Jardon's vision. Right, his connection with the Seeker gives him real information that there's more of these things on the way, and they're going to show up at some point. So that was left unresolved for a reason, and this just kind of ties it in a little nicely.
Yeah, we didn't plan that.
We didn't plan it. It just fell into place that way, and it's a 2-parter, so we're not going to resolve a big thing like an Illithid invasion in 2 parts, but we might reference it. You know.
What about you, Dave? How did you feel about like just jumping back into Joego?
Well, one thing I was going to say about the whole Illithid thing, it almost feels like this 2-parter might be like a setup for something bigger, whether you intended it that way or not.
We could just save the art.
That's the beauty of these games. You just play it when you can.
Yeah, they come alive. And no, I liked jumping back into Joego, and I made him to be easy, kind of no thrills. I don't have to think very much about playing him. I'm just going to show up at the table and have fun. You know, we were talking, before the game, Pruitt was talking about a different character, and he's like, I want to play him a certain way. I'm going to research all this stuff. And like a character like Joego, I love the fact that I don't have to worry about any of that. He just kind of does like what he's going to do, and he's kind of childlike, and he's also going to always throw a monkey wrench in the plans because he's going to do the dumb thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like when I can meta game against the party, and
that's what I love about Joego, because so often players are like very careful and tactical in their thinking, and they rarely make. And if they make a mistake, it's because they didn't read a feat or a spell or something. But like, I like that Joego is just Joego, and
yeah, him jumping in the ice water was like, it was just like, you just felt like, yeah, we're playing. Yeah, these are the characters we're playing again. Absolutely.
Yeah, they're fun characters, and the setting grew up with them as well. There wasn't a lot to the setting, so it was good to the guys over here have an internal chat that they're distracting me with. General chat. It was good to get back in the game. I like the setting. I like the characters. Any questions from the audience? I haven't been paying attention.
We haven't. I didn't see any like actual questions.
They're talking about the cats and the dogs, and we've distracted them.
The internet's easily.
I was showing off my handling of my cat.
your monk performance.
You guys all have way better cats than mine. My cat is pretty much just a little.
My cat, you might hear them behind me peeing on things.
Dude, I can't believe you guys all have cats. That's so weird to me. That's so weird,
man.
Well,
dude, I'm in Texas, bro. I mean, like, dude, there ain't nobody.
It's the lazy man's pet.
I was gonna say I just buried my dog, but we didn't. We cremated him. So
I'm sorry about that, man.
So we had a dog for it was a while ago, but we had a dog for. He was like 13. Yeah, because he was as old as my daughter.
That's how old Zeus is. I think he's about to turn 13 this year, maybe 12. So
yeah, but I mean, I would loosely use the term dog for what you have. Buster was like 100 pounds.
What are you talking about? Zeus, Hades, and Athena are amazing, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
They're closer to the size of my cat.
I'm not taking shit from a guy who has a cat telling me my dog is not big enough. All right, that is not fucking happening.
This fucker right here is like 23 pounds.
That's true. Monk is a beast. He's damn near feral, and he puts up a fight.
Oh yeah, I saw how wild and feral he was as Pruitt's casually stretching him out back there.
Monk loves a good stretch.
Just loves a good stretch.
Like literally, I get home from work
because he was digging his claws into my back.
So let's see, what do we got?
Also, real quick, before we jump into some of the questions, I have a question. We want feedback. Do you guys like the new time? Do you guys like the new? You like streaming over here on YouTube instead of Twitch? It seemed like a lot more people were able to jump into this game, and hopefully, buffered less and stuff like that. So we want feedback. Do you guys like the move? Do you guys like the new time and stuff like that? So let us know in the comments down below. Yes, no, all that.
Yeah.
So Underwood Sketches wants to know if you're going to give the chat the freedom they have in the Marvel game.
I like what's going on in the chat in Nerdarchy's Marvel game. I don't think I would let it get as anarchic as Bill does, but I like the idea of the chat influencing the game, like Encounter RP does with critical hits and critical whatevers. My question is, and this is maybe a question I might explore, is do the players know do the characters know they're being fucked with? That's something that I'd like to explore one day. Maybe have the players take revenge.
They all break the fourth wall.
Break the fourth wall. Anyway, I'm thinking about it. I like the dynamic. I feel like it's something unique that live streaming offers you the chance for that kind of audience participation. And I'm curious to see what you can do with it. But it's like a Disney cartoon over there on Mondays, man.
They get a little nuts.
There's so many fucking animals that run around with grenades and fighting krakens and it's great, helping or harming the Punisher.
Bill let them build a mech.
Yes, he did, didn't he? He let them build a mech. He gave them karma. They've been earning karma since the beginning. Yeah. It's crazy. So that's Underwood Sketches. I like the idea of it, but perhaps not as chaotic over on Nerdarchy's, living up to their name, I guess. Yeah. What other questions do we got?
We get stuff about when are we going to see WebDM's Pruitt actually on Saber Dice?
Well, I mean, it's already announced that you're doing season 3, so it's gonna have to wait.
I think they meant behind the screen.
Yeah.
Just have to be patient.
Saber Dice, you're gonna have to wait.
It's the fake. It's the fake Pruitt that's with us today.
Yeah.
His soul was sucked out by a cat or something.
Yeah, I got sucked up a cat's butthole. So
just like that.
And demonetized.
What? What'd I say? What did I say?
Yeah, there would be more lubed up monsters if the chat had its way. BearTube93. I bet there would. And I put those minotaurs covered in oil with leather harnesses and bejazzled beards in there just for you guys.
Okay, dude, there is a great question. There's a great question. Would you consider a living realm for Saber Dice that you rotate DMing in?
Yeah, that seems
Like
fun.
week to week.
I don't know. Maybe we can do something like that.
I think that would be that would.
I like the idea of shared worlds and shit like that. So yes, I'm open to something like that.
Well, and also I think it might be fun, like we did that one session, Jim, way back in the day. But do it for Saber Dice, like every episode, somebody new is DMing. So everybody, it'd be fun. It'd be weird.
It'd be weird. I think it might be tough logistically. No cliffhangers. Things that maybe.
No, that's the best part. You have to have cliffhangers.
You leave the cliffhanger so the next person goes fucking 90 degrees into the outfield with it.
It's like
I don't know if you've ever played in one of these style games, but they are bonkers.
Like exactly. Yeah, like whose line is it anyways? Where everybody says one word and then the sentence goes in a totally different direction.
I'm not opposed to it.
It would be Gonzo AF, man. I think it would be fun.
Will Jones would have a lot of fun with that, I bet.
Yeah.
But we all make our own PCs, and when you're DM, you got a DM PC, and that's okay sometimes.
Man, now we might have to. We'll talk. We'll talk for season 4. Oh man, you guys see anything else here that we want to talk about?
I haven't been looking at any of the. I thought you were gathering up questions with which to ask us.
Oh, I wasn't doing that. Question with the announcement of the new Numenera game. Are you guys considering other systems? Sure. I know everybody says that they want me to run Starfinder, but I don't know. We'll run whatever. We'll get Pruitt to run some Star Trek, something like that. Dude, you could run Star Trek with Starfinder setting or like the mechanics.
Yeah.
He was very excited about that.
We could do that Star Trek Adventures.
You could use Star Trek Mephidius.
So Cody, what setting are we doing for season 3? Somebody's asking here.
So we did
Jordan
we did a little Q&A, and we did a little Q&A at the end of last season talking about season 3 coming up. And so in short, the world it's a high fantasy world. It's probably not as high fantasy as this setting with Oracle of Palantine. A little bit more traditional with races and stuff like that, but it's a place of fantastical locations. And I think that this will be the first campaign of Saber Dice where we really get to travel and do a lot of things. I spent about 6 hours chatting with my younger brother, who thinks like that kid's a genius. Like he's a genius. And so we talked about the entire campaign. I told him I was panicked because I didn't have shit prepared for you guys. And I think now him and I shot some ideas back, and I think we got something really, really fun that I cannot tell you how excited I am. Finally connected a lot of the dots here with your backgrounds that you guys gave us. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. But that's about as much as I can tell you. It's a homebrew world. It's high fantasy. It's a lot of the places are isolated, but each of the locations are like just really cool, high fantasy places to go and visit and see and explore. And I'd like the campaign to be a little bit more open world to see how these guys handle traveling a bit. How many Tarasques will they be? You'll have to tune in to find out.
What is your favorite food? Favorite food for 200?
Didn't we answer this last season? I thought we did.
Probably.
You need to go back to the tape.
Beef jerky.
It might be beef jerky. Like I swear to God, it might be.
Beef jerky and pumpkin seeds.
There you go. Dinosaurs, man. They want to know about dinosaurs.
There will be 0 dinosaurs or alignment in my games.
Would we consider continuing the arc with these characters as filler between seasons?
Yes,
I am open to whatever anyone wants to do.
See, here's the deal. Jim Davis is like, Jim Davis, I'm going to tattletale on you for a minute.
That's fine.
So I'm like, Jim Davis, hey, let's make our characters for Saber Dice. We're getting the whole thing set up with season 1 and everything like that. And you get about 7 episodes in, and you're like, yeah, I don't think I want to do this for season 2. I think I'm going to be done. And then Dave and I were all like, okay, I guess we need to come up with another show or something. And then we got into season 2, and with the second episode of season 2, you're like, Well, I mean, I don't know. I might want to get back behind the screen.
But you didn't say the reason why. Like, I was working full time, as well as doing all the stuff that we do for WebDM, and so it was just like, man, right now in my life, I got no time for this kind of thing. So, but now I don't, and I always would rather be running. But I like the way we play Saber Dice, because about 11 sessions is about before I just get really tired of a character, and I'm like, let's just kill this guy off. Let's start again. So it's little bite-sized nuggets.
Done. Right on the money.
Campaign nugs.
So can you tell us any more about Huel? Huel? Huel?
Huel Funderbuck. What do you want to know? Who was asking?
You didn't say anything about him in the last Q&A. You were like, oh,
I did say something about him. I said that if they want to know more, they're going to have to watch the show.
Andrew, will you come back for? Will you come back to Saber Dice? I think that question is pretty obvious, but I thought I'd ask it here on the stream. Will you come back to Saber Dice?
I never left.
That's right.
You really didn't. You're in the chat all the time.
Yeah.
I saw someone Arthur DeLuca asked stats and a blurb of lore for gutter fairies. So stats are whatever is appropriate. At the moment, they have between -2, 2+2 to any given roll. Maybe a magical ability related to their sphere. They're pixies, right? They got D4 hit points and a fly speed. But the blurb is that they are fairies that have adapted to live alongside this highly magical society. They clean up the streets of crap and refuse. They sweep out chimneys. They collect garbage. They perform the functions that a municipality needs to survive. And in exchange, the people of the great city of Orichala Palatine leave out saucers of milk, tankards of beer, little sausages. They're very kind to the gutter fairies because the gutter fairies do all that for them. So that's the lore blurb there.
Basically, on Planet Earth 2, you need to watch the urban episode and animals adapting to urban life. It's like that.
The same thing with familiars. Everyone in the great city knows not to mess with animals, and so the residents of the city are known for their beneficence towards small animals, because it might be a familiar, it might be a shapeshifted druid, it might be a wizard just trying to go about incognito. You don't kick a cat, you don't try to kill a rat, you just leave them be. And so and there's a shit ton of flying things in the city too as well. So it's just there's a lot of critters about the city.
Yeah. So Shaman Bill wants to know a quick change of pace. There's a rumor that Dave's favorite movie is Jersey Girl. Is that true?
Oh no, my secret is out. Was that Jennifer Lopez?
Yeah, I never saw it.
If you're asking who's in it, it might not be.
No, it's what's her name? Liv Tyler, right?
It's a Joyzy thing.
I don't know.
It's a Joyzy thing.
Yeah, you guys would know nothing about that. You guys.
I know what South Park taught me.
That's enough.
That's enough. I know that Snooki wants smush mush.
I tell you what, okay, so I got a question for you guys real quick. So would you guys, if we put together a panel to do a live Saber Dice show at Gen Con this year, would you guys be interested in doing it? I think everybody here's going to be there, right?
Nah, fam.
Nah, fam?
Mm-mm.
You're not going to be at Gen Con?
We axed it. Yeah, it's too much red tape.
Oh my gosh, you're not going to be at Gen Con this year?
Okay, here's the deal.
Wait a minute,
it's like
PAX was way harder to get a press pass to than...
It took like 2 clicks to get a press pass at PAX.
Yeah.
It was like,
it's like
you
nothing.
had to send them stuff and...
Okay.
I
talked to Travis. I talked to Travis and was like, dude, you've got to get your badges now, or you are not going to get hotel rooms.
Okay, but here's the thing.
When we'll be at Gen Con, when they pay for our airfare and hotel.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Here's the deal. We need to start a Patreon for Saber Dice on getting WebDM and Dawnforged and Nerdarchy.
You guys don't have to pay for it.
To Gen Con so we can do a live show.
Those red tape loving grognards can do it, man.
Here's the thing. We could go to like 3 other conventions this year.
We go to
with the same amount of money
Origins
to go to Gen Con. And so that was the decision we made.
Come on, man.
But you might be able to talk to the most people at Gen Con. You might have whatever, however many fans you have for the other 3 conventions altogether might not add up to how many fans could have a chance to see you and meet you and greet you at Gen Con.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of red tape.
It was like a web form you had to fill out.
Yeah.
Then we only give one, right? They only get one press badge. You don't get 2.
I received a press badge for Gen Con and for my camera woman.
That is not what it says on the website. So.
It's two per brand.
Yeah.
So we're gonna shoot, man. We're gonna have a good time.
The actual tickets.
I'm sure y'all will have a wonderful and amazing time. The minute you were like, oh yeah, you have to buy tickets to play games, it's like, fuck. Like, as opposed to PAX, where it's just like, find this empty table and set up and play a game.
Oh my
you
God.
can do that too.
Okay, well, they don't advertise.
I agree with you. I think it's bullshit. Origins does the same thing.
And we've had several people tell us, like, don't go to Gen Con. They're like, people who go all the time, and they're like, don't go. It's not worth it. It's like E3, and E3 sucks. There's a reason they started PAX, because E3 sucks. Anyway,
I wasn't terribly impressed with PAX South for tabletop.
I think the reason they started
tabletop.
PAX was to make a shit ton of money.
Yeah, that's true as well. Anyway, I would play Saber Dice Live, and if it's Gen Con, then somebody can buy my ticket.
All right, Saber Dice fans, let's get some T-shirts sold.
It's not y'all's. Let somebody else do it. Let somebody else do it. Don't spend your own money. I'm not.
All right, hear me out. So infamous napkin. All right, hear me out. Pruitt presents season 4, Saber Dice, the Illithid Wars, Spelljammer.
It's epic.
Andrew, you in?
Absolutely.
That sounds great.
Yeah, that would be they'd be attacking in from the east section of the Vortex Galaxy. Yeah,
Sure.
Have to go through the dwarves.
I've seen some questions about me doing something with Warhammer. Just be patient, people. It takes time to put these kind of things together. But I love Warhammer. It's a game that I will always love playing, and I still have those trauma surgeon injury tables that I will use, and it's going to be glorious. So just
you play a Slayer?
You can absolutely play a Slayer. But yeah, that's what I say. And then I don't know, I'd like to return to this city and an Illithid invasion, but I think that deserves more than 11 episodes. And Cody's getting a big long crack at the DM seat. So yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
It'll be a while. Is what I'm saying. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be really fun.
Lots of I can't wait to see your characters interact, because I again did not know that you guys were all playing halflings until after I got the art back.
Yeah, we are.
For the first go round from
this?
Kim. Kim sent us the art, and I was like, "These all fucking halflings." Like,
Yep.
I've been talking with these characters for months. No idea. Totally right over my head.
Yeah, what does that matter, Cody? Halflings are people too.
No, I did not say that. Don't go there, buddy.
All of us is
no.
1.5 people.
You went there. You went there, buddy. I was just pointing it out.
I'm gonna make a gnome if Huel bites it.
No, if Roscoe bites it, I'm totally gonna make Roscoe Threestone the Barbarian Halfling, and use the first version of the art with the mohawk. It's already there.
It's great. It'll be.
There's
great.
a lot of Threestones.
I'm. Of course there are. I'm excited about it. Any other?
Yeah, guys, let's take a few more, and then we'll boogie out of here, because I'm excited to get some stuff prepped for next week. So, a few more questions here.
Is it easier to build a game-breaking PC in 5e or Pathfinder? I don't know, because I've never played Pathfinder.
I would imagine Pathfinder.
Probably Pathfinder.
If I had to take a guess.
Yeah.
We have a resident expert. Let's ask.
You can break any game ever because you make up the rules.
I think that 5e might actually be easier than Pathfinder.
You think it's easier to stumble into
because
a
it's like, dude,
you can't just play a Moon Druid.
Bounded accuracy and barbarians taking half damage. Like, dude, I think it's easier. Because in Pathfinder, if you make one character that is like ridiculously good at this one or two tricks,
it'll take you a lot longer to figure it out in Pathfinder. There's like 3,000 feats or something, but you could. I don't think
Just need a long weekend.
I think to me it's like I don't even like moon druids and really tough barbarians and shit. They don't break 5th edition. They test its limits. The DM has to work harder, but it's not like I've never played Pathfinder, but I know 3.5, and there were some builds where you could just show up and be like, I'm just gonna ruin your campaign.
Well,
Like,
it's the easiest thing is to challenge them in areas outside of taking damage and doing damage.
exactly, right? Like
and break their hearts.
yeah, it's one of those things where it's like if you're having a problem with barbarians and druids, then maybe combat isn't the way that you test them. You know, you can make them make a real shitty choice and have to live with it. Oh, let's see. Would I allow a character to be mute and have to communicate with body language and hand signals? Sure, but they probably can't cast most spells.
No, fuck no.
Wouldn't do it
Sorcerer
online.
with subtle.
It's so annoying at the table.
Mm-hmm. I think the best thing I saw, a best answer to a question just like this was posed to Chris Perkins on Twitter. And somebody said basically something almost exactly along the same lines. My character is mute. He's a pirate. He has a parrot. The character squawks like a parrot every time he wants to communicate something and talks in short sentences. And I believe Chris Perkins' almost exact response were, no offense, but I'd fucking kill your character. It's like, yeah. It's a social game. It's not all about one individual. That's all I would say.
I'd allow it. There's a lot of ways around it.
Mute.
It doesn't. Yeah, you don't. I mean, even if you don't talk in character, you can still convey body language. And
we got the question the other day was similar to this. It was like, how do you play a blind character?
Yeah.
And then they like come up with reasons to like get away around being blind. I'm like, you're not really playing a blind character.
Not really playing a blind character. Yeah.
You got to look at it too. I know it's based on everything. Oh, great. The mute, like, oh yes, put it in the hands of an experienced player. That level of experience playing a psionic, playing an evil character, playing any of those things, having that mental image, having that. Sorry, I said mental image when I saw Bathhouse.
Yeah, you saw that.
Thinking about those minotaurs.
Yes, they will
Minotaurs.
be dancing in my dreams tonight.
Going to the. There needs to be tar pits down there where the minotaurs go to.
Yeah. Oh my god.
We can go on for quite a while about what people should and shouldn't play.
Shouldn't do. Do whatever the fuck you feel like doing, and if it doesn't work, don't do it anymore.
That's all.
Jeez, man. Like, it's almost as if you don't even need any of the channels that we have. Oh, shit.
Blasphemy.
Snap.
Don't do what you want at the cost of everybody else's fun. That's all I'd say.
Sure.
Little caveat.
It's sound advice.
Let's see.
All right, let's take one more question, and we're gonna boogie out of here. And we're gonna give a big old hug to Andrew Armstrong. What's the campaign setting? Is that now? Let's take one more question.
No.
Let's take one more. I'm sorry, Jamal.
It's a homebrew. You should watch the first. If you want to know, there's a bunch of videos on this YouTube channel that will explain it to you, and they're really fun to watch because we have a good time playing the game.
Yeah, I mean it's only like 36 hours worth of
It's
stuff.
only like 36 hours worth of stuff.
You can get through it in 2 days.
Our games are much shorter than a lot of other games that you guys see out there. So
Yeah.
I think that makes it for kind of a punchy watch, in my opinion.
We're also drunk, so it makes for a punchy watch.
There's that as well. There's a lot of inebriated gaming that goes on in Saber Dice.
I've gamed inebriated more on Saber Dice, I think, than I have in real life.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing, but those episodes were fun.
Were you drinking for Adam Bradford's guest appearance?
I think I was drinking during that game because we were at a party. We were having fun.
I'm role playing, buddy.
Yeah.
I let someone play a vampire armored Athena from level 1, so it's fine. Someone asked when the new season's starting.
It starts on that screen right there. Bow, coming February the 21st. So we're gonna, and that game is titled Harbinger. Also, we've got a game, a Numenera game, which is going to have a lot of really amazing people in that. And I believe that we're aiming to start that on the 26th. That game has Mike with Unmade Gaming, Cuddle Pit, Ted with Nerdarchy, Jordan with Forgotten Realms Explained, and Wylock from Wylock's Crafting Channel in that game. And it's a Numenera game on Mondays. I think that we are going to start Season 3, Harbinger, on the 21st.
Ooh. Ooh, here we have a good question. Would you say, as the GM, the player stories are more important than the GM's given story?
I reject that false dichotomy there. It's the group's
Mhm.
telling of a story. And you might not be the most skilled DM, but you should try to blend all of them together into one cohesive whole. But if you pitch yourself, it's like, oh, it's not mine, it's yours, then you'll eventually get resentful that no one cares about what you want to do.
And then you'll become an adversarial DM. And
It could happen, and then it leads to all kinds of weird neckbeardy behaviors.
If your players are not having fun with your story, they're going to stop wanting to play. If the DM is not having fun contributing to the story, they're not going to want to keep playing.
Just by the nature of the game, it kind of starts with the GM first anyway. The GM's going to throw some stuff out there, then the players are going to react to it, and then the story is going to progress from there. You know, a good GM will kind of roll with what the players are doing, and good players will buy into some of the stuff that the DM is doing, and meet. Everyone meets in the middle somewhere.
Exactly. Can you play a good aligned necromancer, lich, dinosaur? Underwood Sketches, there's a campaign for every character.
Nope.
There's a campaign for every character.
We're not getting into that.
There's a Rifts game out there where that's appropriate.
Sure. With quality players. You know what they're doing.
It is okay to tell your players no. It is okay to tell your players no. Do you guys want to chime in on the GM players, Andrew and Pruitt?
I did.
Okay.
I nodded vigorously with Jim's.
Yeah.
I did this. All right, then I guess we're out of here.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We love your faces. We will be back next Wednesday at the same time, which I got to think what the new time is. It's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and whatever other time zone you're in accordingly. And we will be back here at youtube.com/SaberDice. Go check out the Saber Dice t-shirts. That is going to end soon. That's going to end soon. And outside of that, we will catch you guys next time. You guys have anything else you guys want to say?
Yeah, start your siege campaign at level 1.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Stay nerdy.